XboxEra is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Despite the fact that the team running XboxEra haven't been to journalism school, we're still lucky enough to be supported by some incredible people. While we adore all of our patrons, we have to give a very special shout out to our executive producers who go above and beyond for this team, allowing us to achieve so much more than we could without them. Ass4ssin Entertainment, Croat56, Frankie C, Jordan White, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Mohammed Sherez, Not Jack, Top, and a special shout out to Grand Benefactor Torn Raptor. You guys are fucking awesome, and we love you. If you want to become legend like this lot, head to patreon.com/XboxEra.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to episode 210 of the XboxEra podcast. As you can see, I am your host this week, Special Nick, not John, who is the most part-time, full-timer that I've ever witnessed in my time doing this thing. We're here to talk about all the latest in gaming news across the industry, but overall we're obviously focused on the dead Xbox platform. So if you love what we do, you can support us directly by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra or becoming a YouTube member right here. And as always, keep your eyes on XboxEra.com for all the latest and greatest in gaming news. As I said, this week I'm your host, and we are rapt to be joined by Gene Park. Gene, how are you, mate?
Good to be here. Yeah, longtime fan. Thanks. And I know we've been trying to get me on here, so I'm glad to finally be on.
I apologize profusely for all the stalking and the harassment on Twitter, trying to get you on.
No, like I said, I apologize for your patience. Thanks so much. I'm glad to finally be here.
No, mate, it's great.
Yeah.
And Jesse's always there behind. Well, he's not behind the scenes anymore, but
I used to be the voice in the background, the man behind the curtain. But then I was yanked forward, and here I am to barely talk because I'm so busy producing. Hello, everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know, it's another good face in the crowd. You know.
Yes,
not really.
It's very
good. An okay face. Pretty old.
Now, I have to say, like I said, I'm rapt to have Gene on. The whole time I have felt like I have been bothering the hell out of you, trying to get you on, to the point where I'm like, I think he doesn't want to come on, but he's being nice and saying, yeah, no worries, I'll jump on that because I'm
it's actually been really, really bad timing every single time where I'm just like, oh, I got this thing. Oh, wait, no, this thing just came up. And even tonight, like I have another dinner I have to go to. But yeah, it's surprisingly tough on Saturday nights, which is upsetting because I like having my Saturday nights free.
Look, I get it. Like that's the awkwardness of our situation. Like, so we've got our normal host is from the UK. I'm in Australia and Jesse is in the US. So it makes finding a good time for all three of us to do this.
It's tough, yeah. And you see me on the Spawn Wave before, and you know,
Yes.
like I would offer John to be on Spawn Wave regularly, but it's on Saturday night, and I don't know if I really have that night pretty much free every weekend, you know. So.
Yeah, that's why we're moving into to be able to have more guests on in general, because obviously it's tough to ask so many US-based people to give up a Saturday, we're going to start doing an interview thing for our patrons where we can just record it whenever, then it goes up live, because it's so much harder to do it with people live, though it is very fun to do it with people live. So.
Where are you, Jesse?
I am in Florida, in Tampa. I am originally from Boston, but like many New Englanders, I've fallen down into Florida over time.
We're both East Coasters then, yeah, and Nick is in Australia. So I used to be in the same as Australia because I'm from Guam. So.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So I was just an hour away from Sydney, basically. So.
Yeah, holy shit! Wow. So basically, at one stage, almost same time zone.
Yeah, pretty much the same time zone, just an hour difference,
Yeah. Oh wow, that's unreal. Now, for those of you, for our audience who may not be aware, can you give us we're obviously aware, but and my exposure to you is a lot of what my Twitter algorithm feeds me.
Sure.
Because, mate, the algorithm makes you look like the biggest party boy going around, mate. Telling you now. I'm like, hey, look at Gene.
Yeah, that's my old life. That's my old life.
It's the old, mate. That's all Twitter feeds me, mate. That's all Twitter feeds me.
So yeah, I am the reporter and critic for the Washington Post, video games critic. I've been writing at the Washington Post since 2020, but I've been working at the Washington Post since 2015. I am their former social media editor, so I was like their brand account. Basically a community manager for a big news organization, basically.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So that's basically what I was doing. I was running their Reddit. I was running their Twitch program for a little bit. They wanted to start covering games around 2019, 2020, and I started advising on that strategy. And they realized, oh well, Gene's here. He could just write about it, So that's how I got hired. I never really got into games journalism to get into games journalism. I never thought I would ever get into games journalism, to be quite honest. I've just been a regular journalist for 20 years, covering crime and military and all that good stuff, So games journalism is relatively new. So a lot of people say, "Oh, Gene, you've been around the industry for a long time." No, I have not. Actually, I have not at all. Jeff Grubb is. Now, actually, Mike Minotti, Jeff Grubb's friend, is actually the first games journalist I ever met, and I met Grubb shortly afterwards. But yeah, I haven't been around the block all that much. I'm just loud, so. So that's why you think I've been around for a while, because I've just been screaming this whole time. So
yeah. No, well, like I said, mate, my feed gives me a lot of your stuff. You're one of the main people it shoots at me. So I'm like, and I like you said, I see a lot of that stuff from your old life. I'm like, hey, Gene. Gene knows how to party, mate. Don't worry.
So I'm originally from Hawaii. Hawaii had a really good nightlife and club life scene. So I was a big part of that, and I've had a lot of positions and responsibilities in my life. Like, for example, I used to be a judge for beauty pageants. That was fun.
Wow.
Like that. So that's why, like, my when you see like my old party lifestyle, it's like, oh yeah, because I was adjacent to the pageant scene and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Oh, that's unreal. That makes so much more sense now. Now that you said that makes so much more sense. Now, we generally like to start the show talking about what we've been playing. So have you been? Are you too busy, or have you been playing anything lately, Gene?
Yeah, I've actually still been playing. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I've actually been playing Stellar Blade still.
Yeah,
I still really enjoy that game. I gave it a 75 or 3 out of 4 stars, right, on the Washington Post scale, right? Which is
That's a
it's a
good
good
score.
game, right? And I when I reviewed it, I was initially going to give it 2.5 stars because I was like, this game's okay, but it started out really slow, and I think a lot of reviews reflect that too. And then it gets really cooking by the end of it. And then now I'm just like on my third New Game Plus. I think I'm actually gonna try to go for the platinum trophy, which I usually don't.
Wow.
I'm definitely more of an Xbox gamer score. I like seeing the 1000 versus a platinum trophy.
Really?
I do wish that the Xbox would have some kind of like platinum style
Yes.
thing, of course,
That's
right?
right.
But like I'm an old school Xbox player, so when I see the thousand, I find a lot of satisfaction in that. I hate when the DLC expands upon that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but for Stellar Blade, I think the platinum trophy is relatively easy to get. I'm already like 70% there, so I'm like, I might as well pick up all these stupid cans and unlock the special lingerie you get at the end of the game.
This
I,
game is
I
sounding
I saw
right
the
up my
lingerie. I was
alley.
like, I don't need to complete this game. I don't care, And then I'm like, I think I'm already almost there, so I might as well. And it's kind of fun actually still. So yeah, I'm actually still surprisingly playing Stellar Blade. I've been playing Bayonetta 3 as well. Because I played a little bit when it came out. And I played it while I was sick, so I was not like in the best mood to like be playing games. For folks who don't know, I had cancer during
Yes.
2022. I'm all better now, so hopefully we stay that way.
Congrats on that, mate.
Thank you. And so but I really hated Bayonetta 3. I hated the experience. I hated the story. I hated the gameplay. Huge fan of Bayonetta, so that's why 3 was so disappointing for me. But after playing Stellar Blade, I was like, you know what? I'm still into the sexy girl kick, So I think I could go back to the Bayonetta and see whether I can have a good time. Yeah, I don't know if I'm having a good time still.
So it's
it's
not clicking for you any differently.
Not really. It's not like. I mean, it reminds me of how much more fun Bayonetta is compared to Stellar Blade story, which is. Have you guys played Stellar Blade at all?
So I've gone through a little. I did the demo, and I've watched people go through quite a bit of it, and it definitely does not hit that. I think one of the main thing Liza P really hit for me was that it was actually an engaging story in this utterly ridiculous, stupid setup of free IP characters. But that's the Souls thing, where when the writing is good and the lore is cool, it's generally enough. And when what I've seen and what I've experienced in Stellar Blade is it's just kind of like you can tell it's lesser like budget and all that.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things that hit me really hard. There's a game that just came out called Indica, which is a very small budget game where it's alt history 1900s Russia, and it's made by a very small team, and you're a nun, and it's a lot of walking, a lot of talking. It's the least Nick game of all time because it's all about the story and when the story in those types of things is good, it just adds so much. Even it doesn't have to be like long cutscenes. That's like not the Dark Souls thing. Dark Souls is just cool as shit with some good writing and surprisingly good voice acting, and you can feel this is kind of our first time coming off of the mobile side of things, and maybe whoever did our translations and whoever we got to do the VO and direct people on the VO is very stilted. It's kind of like that. It's like that the mediocre anime dub, because sometimes you get very good ones, but it's more like that 90s really on the nose dialogue. It loses a lot of the subtlety that the initial language it was written in would have generally. So
actually, as someone who played it in Korean, and as someone who understands very little Korean, I was surprised at how much Korean I understood at Stellar Blade. So that's the level of writing. Like I don't think the writing in the original language is even that sophisticated, because I, with an infant level's understanding of Korean, was able to actually understand like a good chunk of the story without like looking at the subtitles. I was like, oh, they're speaking at my level, which is like a third or fourth grade or like first grade level of Korean.
Wow.
So that was really fascinating, and the VO direction on the Korean side, I like hearing people say, "Oh yeah, the VO Korean dub is so much better. You should listen to it." I'm like, "Yeah, cool," but for me, when I listened to it, I was like, "This is not that good either."
It's that thing where
I think it's about as good as the English VO, which is a little bit boring, a little bit stilted, right?
Yeah,
So.
it's just it always, especially in anime, you can always tell that they're so into it, and there's this cottage industry around the voice acting that they take super seriously, which it took a while.
I don't think that happened here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm curious.
I'm actually curious how it sounds in Japanese, because I wonder if the Japanese VO just like delivered it.
Yeah, you probably have a lot more choices for people who are super into video game VO.
One of the comments because again I haven't played it, and I probably should at least download the demo. I've got a PS5. One of the comments I've heard from a few people that played it is because I don't know. I feel like the gameplay looks faster than what people tell me it is.
It's
like
got
people are
more
saying it's a
input
bit
latency
slow
than you would think. From
little
when I
bit, yeah.
played it, yeah. So like if you're
Yeah.
used to, it's very immediate in a lot of things where they'll cancel animations, and
Like
they'll
Devil
cancel
May Cry.
frames. Yeah, you can tell when you press something that it's gonna start doing it. It's not always super immediate. Like Liza P, it would just cut off your animation when you're going for that
Yeah.
parry, and it's less inclined to cut off animations in this one.
Liza P is definitely a more reactive action game. I love Liza P. Oh my goodness. It was like my fourth favorite game of 2023. But Stellar Blade is definitely slower. But people call it slower. I call it heavier. It's really, really heavy.
I was just
really,
about
really
to use that word. Is it heavy? Was when
It's
Jesse
heavy.
said it doesn't immediately respond.
It's
It
like when
doesn't
you're
immediately
using
respond.
the huge weapons in a Souls game, even though it's not some big ass hammer, but you still got to kind of play it a little like that.
Yeah, because she's got a huge ass, and that's
It's a
I
dump
think
truck to move around.
no, I really think that a part of the weight feels like you're throwing her ass around, because like even when she double jumps, it feels like it's a pendulum, It feels like she's a pendulum, and the ass is the center of the gravity.
Yeah.
But it's that Jesse nailed it completely. The impressions you got are completely correct. That this is definitely a very first game. That they did a really good job, but then you can tell that they kind of threw everything in there. There's a pipe dream puzzle. There's all these number
I've seen
puzzles.
the one where you've got to rotate beams. I keep seeing people complain about that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
the
amount of
lasers
them.
that's straight out of Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, that's never good.
Yeah, and the platforming's like okay, but but the open world sections are pretty good. The story is definitely nothing to write home about. I'm actually interested to hear what Nick's perspective on story is, because I'm also kind of the same way, where sometimes I feel like the story makes it worse. Like I would like Stellar Blade a lot more. Thank the review copies, you couldn't skip the cutscenes, so thank goodness that the day one patch they allow you to skip the cutscenes, because the cutscenes are so
I
awful
always
sometimes.
skip cutscenes. I
He
always
skipped them
skip
in Alan
cutscenes
Wake
in
2.
games.
Wow. Okay.
I'm I hate. I mean, the term old school's a bit cringe now, but like, I don't know. I just want to play the game. I'm not interested in watching movies.
I get you. Yeah. So Stellar Blade, they had unskippable cutscenes, which was terrible. And then so when I was finally able to play it again, I could skip the cutscenes. Game's so much better. The pacing is so much better. Sometimes I would just rather, because I'm of the opinion that most video game stories are not good. Period. I just think most of them aren't that good. So if you can skip them, then you can skip them. It's fine.
Stellar Blade feels much more like a first game than Liza P does. Liza P was just shockingly competent.
Liza P was
every area. It didn't
shockingly good.
Yeah, it didn't. The gameplay was great. It was like its own thing, but reminiscent of Souls and Bloodborne a bit, but smarter in some ways than even the From games are, with the way a lot of the systems interacted, and it was very easy to tell how to do stuff without feeling hand-fed to you. That is a thing I've run into a lot lately, because I've done like 270 reviews now, I think, in like 3 or 4 years, and Stellar Blade, the demo I played, good, a little too almost like it started in that free-to-play setting with how all the UI and everything's going to work, but then they obviously were just doing single player. But then when you have something like Liza P or even the recent Lords of the Fallen from October, like those ones are, and Lords of the Fallen is actually a really new studio too, but they just really got make it cool, make it look like feel good, like you're always in control while still being balls hard. And I think they got the gameplay part of that with Stellar Blade a lot better than pretty much any of the other stuff, because it can look really cool. The character design can be awesome, like especially the non-Eve characters sometimes can just look really cool, but the enemies don't always look that different or that great, and that is a big thing in those games for
You're correct, and I was like, that's a huge reason why I was like pretty down on Settled Blade, because the enemy design was boring. I was like, this is just goop and tentacles.
Does
right?
it get
This is
better later?
1,000%
Okay,
better.
good.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm telling you that there is a direct point in Stellar Blade where the game quality goes from like mid, like you can tell that this is their first game, to straight up like in the second half. This game gets really cooking. Like it's becomes a really great game, even, you know.
Oh,
The
good.
combat is incredible. The enemy design gets interesting and unique and memorable. The boss fights of the first Hella game are just like whatever. These are monsters or whatever, right? And the second, right, you meet your first boss that's like really really interesting, and you're like, oh, that was a really interesting boss. And then the next one gets more interesting, and the next one gets even more interesting. And it's a straight shot up into all the way to the last boss, where the final battle is absolutely fucking sick. It's crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, they really like backloaded every single thing, where every
I was
single
about to
cool
say,
boss.
it sounds like an intentional design decision to ramp everything up then.
Yeah, every single cool boss is right at the end. Every single cool moment that's in the trailers or whatever is right at the back half. Like when if you see something in the trailers that of Stellar Blade and you're like, oh, that looks actually pretty sick. That doesn't happen in the first half. They really really wait until the second half to really get cooking, and it's so that was what turned me around, and that's what like I just beat New Game Plus again last night, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I just finished a good part of Stellar Blade again, you know. Because it's just so much fun. I would love a boss rush, actually, just to get rid
Oh,
of all the
wow.
faff about just platforming and exploring and everything like that, and doing puzzles and fucking block
Really?
puzzles and everything. Like I hate block puzzles.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I've seen people
There's
playing.
one Kotaku had a piece recently. Kotaku had a piece recently, and there's one that I actually agree with, where it's like, yeah, let's get rid of block puzzles. Like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there's block puzzles there.
Yeah.
You know, we've been doing this shit since Tomb Raider 1 for the original Tomb Raider. You know,
Yeah.
since Legacy of Kain and Soul Reaver. You know, we've been doing this since God of War. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this
crazy.
one's got a lot of running from place to place, especially early,
Yeah.
from what I saw.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of so the demo is a good indicator of the first half of the game's quality, and then the second half is completely hidden and surprising.
It sounds a lot like, it's gonna be weird, Marvel's Avengers, where early on, like the story's cool and all that, but you feel weak as shit because it was built as this Destiny thing with the multiplayer, so that like all those characters become incredibly fun to play once you've got like 3/4 of their powers and everything unlocked, and it takes forever. Like Iron Man is awful in that game until you unlock everything, and then he's incredible.
I love to hear Marvel's Avengers appreciation. I actually like that game quite a bit.
I gave it a good score as a single player, play through this really good story and have a lot of fun. Like the Kamala Khan and all that was incredible. I really liked it, but it just failed as a live service game.
Stellar Blade reminds me a lot of Forspoken, actually. I think that both of those games have a lot in common. Really, really cringy, bad writing at the beginning. Takes a while to get going. Story gets a lot better in the second half. A lot of people don't believe me, but Forspoken gets pretty decent in the second half.
Forspoken was so bad early that I still gave it like a 5, but it was because it gets really cool later on, especially the insane spells you can start to cast. But
exactly.
It's so painful to get to that. This one, I already felt this is more fun. If it gets better in the second half, I'd be much more willing to go through all of that first half. Forspoken was...
I was originally thinking Forspoken and Stellar Blade were maybe about the same, but I do think Stellar Blade is just better overall, because the second half is just better than the second half of Forspoken. Even the writing gets better, you know. like the writing is terrible at the beginning of Stellar Blade, but it actually all comes together. Like, the themes are actually kind of coming together. The characters are actually starting to make sense more. The dialogue actually, the dialogue makes no sense whatsoever. Like it's like non sequitur. Like it's like they're barely talking to each other, right? But then once shit starts to get so serious towards the back half of Stellar Blade, then it gets pretty good. But that's what I've been playing. Fallout, of course. I've been checking out both Fallout 4 and New Vegas, kind of playing both of them simultaneously. Haven't checked out the Xbox upgrade. I hear that
it's apparently broken.
Yeah, it doesn't have the quality mode.
They say it's supposed to be that, where on Xbox it always targets 4K 60, but performance will lessen the settings more. And that they didn't bother with the quality mode compared to PlayStation, and it is still ahead of it in some areas and a little behind in others. They've said it's intentional. It is kind of weird, especially because now, as we'll talk about in the news, they are putting a 40 FPS mode in another game on Xbox. But yeah, it's,
I've been playing on PC, and I've been playing on Steam Deck. It takes forever to load there, so I don't know what's going on. So I have to install some mods there. New Vegas has been fun.
4
to
has
revisit.
had a lot of issues with PC loading, just in general.
I mean, 4 has always had issues forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I played a couple weeks ago, but it still had the same whiteout bug every time you have a wetness clicked on in the graphics setting, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, man! It's been 9 years since this bug has been around, and you guys still haven't fixed this. Holy shit, man! And for folks who don't know, I'm one of like the 5 reviewers who actually like really like Starfield a lot.
It's shocking. If you go back and look in the first 5 days of its release, it's an 88 on OpenCritic. It didn't get dragged down to 85 until all the people they didn't send codes to started hitting it with 1.4, a bunch of 5s, and a ton of 6s. Like there's like 25 perfect scores for it on OpenCritic. Not me. I was 9.7, but I wasn't perfect. But yeah, I have been playing a lot of Starfield's beta patch. Yeah, it's really good. The being able to go through, change all the options the way you want it. You can either make it harder, get more experience, make it easier, but get less experience. The maps, like every single every single cell they do now has a local map that looks really good. Like if you're in a tunnel system, and then there's just this gigantic map that shows you the entire tunnel system now. I was very, very happy with it.
It's a mapped out 3D system of the tunnel, even not even just like a
if you
video
go
or whatever.
on Jez's Twitter account, he put up a video that was on Reddit. It's like in the cities they showed it off, but it's also like it's pretty much any cell you're on. It shows the whole cell. So if you're in the open, it'll show the gigantic, 10 square kilometer. If you're in a building, you get the whole layout of the building in 3D, and it's like you can go around and everything. It looks really good.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was very.
I'm excited for the ship editions because I think a big part of the reason why I love Starfield so much and I gave it a fucking perfect score is because I just love the ship construction so much. I thought it was magical. I thought it was a miracle.
Yeah, they've got everything now except you still can't place ladders indoors exactly where you want. You can place everything.
Oh, really? Okay, that was one hang up that I had where it's like, okay, I'm like, I keep replacing everything to make sure that the ladders and the doors are at the right place because I'm just like, why is a ladder in front of this door? I don't need this. But yeah, like I'm always trying to make sure I have the perfect number of beds for the perfect number of like crew that I have. I built the Normandy SR7 for Mass Effect. So it's just so cool. I just love the spaceship battles. A lot of people say, oh, it's just all loading screens or whatever. It's like, well, you know what? That's what video games are. It's all fucking illusions and everything.
How do you want the loading screen to look? Is it going to be a still image, or is it going to be just a bunch of shit going on around you in Jedi Survivor? Like that looks cool and can be more immersive, but it also adds time and effort and all that. So I'm fine with a short load screen.
But we have SSDs now.
Yeah, that's why it's like
supposed to get
seconds.
rid of loading screens.
It's pretty fast. And I still like the simulation of flying in space over. Like I wish it wasn't just over planets all the time. That's my issue. That's the only time
you're gonna get a land buggy, probably with the expansion. They showed it off.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Really excited about vehicles. I want to get back into Starfield again.
Yeah. So they said the creation kit is in creators' hands for mods, which makes it sound like that's going to be way sooner than the expansion.
Yeah. I'm excited to get back into Starfield because I was watching the Halo show, right? I haven't finished the Halo show, so don't tell me how. I only watched it all the way up to
better every episode, in my opinion.
Okay, because I stopped at Reach because I was not happy with how they handled Reach, and I was just like,
Reach is stretched, so it's not just like this is what happened at Reach, but like the repercussions and the story, it keeps going throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling what Nick was feeling, or that Nick is expressing right now, which is just violently shaking his head. Where that's where I was.
This guy hates stories, so don't trust him.
It's not good. No, the Fallout. Well, I haven't played the Fallout game, and I like the Fallout
never
TV
played
show.
Oh, you haven't played Fallout games at all?
He has never played a Bethesda game.
I was just about to say, while you guys were talking about those games you're playing, I'm so envious of people like you that can play all these massive games. I just can't bring myself to do it.
He can't spend 100 hours in an RPG, but he can spend 10,000 hours in Rocket League.
In Rocket League, and like, you know, speaking of sexy girls with hot asses, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite as well. Like, I just use Chun-Li whenever I play Fortnite, because just like people that play Stellar Blade, I like to look at Chun-Li while I play Fortnite.
Chun-Li is the original one for me. That's for sure.
Mate, look up the top searches in Pornhub, mate. Chun-Li, Fortnite. Mate, give the people what they want. Give them what they want. But that's the thing. I don't play all these new games. I get envious of people that manage to like sit themselves down and like put that kind of time into games like Starfield and stuff.
But what I was saying though is I watched the Halo show, and the Halo show was so generic in its space combat that I was like, you know what? This makes me want to play Starfield. because it's reminding me of more of Starfield than it is of fucking Halo, you know?
Yeah, they don't really have.
I was like, for fuck's sake, man!
It feels like the space ship battles is the most expensive for some reason with the fidelity they're going for. So like
in Halo, yeah, right?
You don't get it until the very end of the season. It's generally ground combat. I am curious what their total budget is, because it doesn't feel low, but it doesn't feel as big as I think. Fallout hit at just the exact time, because Bezos hadn't yelled at them yet. Because he very much yelled at them, why are we spending $200 million on Lord of the Rings, contractually obligated to do it? Like, so, but then Westworld's they renewed, and they've got a $152 million budget, so it's still going to be way friggin' up there. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the budget only ran out when they had to DH Hank at the end of the show or whatever. You know.
But
So, how'd you feel about Halo Season 1?
I thought it was insane. And
Insane.
Because it was insane, I enjoyed it. I had a good time, even though I think it's bad. Because I could not fucking predict what the fuck was going to happen. I didn't know. I didn't know what they were on. I didn't know what they were doing. All the characters were doing weird shit. You know, everyone was being so weird. So I was mildly entertained at this weird remix high version of Halo. And I was like, you know what? At least I didn't know what to expect the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, even with Fallout, which is a much better show, 1,000 times better show.
Much better.
I was still able to kind of predict some of the stuff, because you know I'm familiar with Fallout and some of the tropes. Halo, I had no idea what the fuck they were going for, and it was just out of nowhere. Like, oh, he's sleeping with the prisoner of war now. I never would have made that story choice. She is in prison. She is your prisoner. You should not be having sex with her. That is a war crime, and yet you are. And then now she's dead, and then now she's not in season 2. And it's like, what is going on? I don't get it. So in terms of pure like predictability or whatever, yes, I thought it was entertaining. I don't know if it's a good show. I love Kat, or what's her name? The blonde girl.
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ, I can't remember. It's only been a couple months, but yes. Jesus Christ, tall blonde lady.
Kat is
everyone wants to spend on.
Yeah, the blonde mommy. Yes, I love the blonde mommy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
She's very good. I can't
She's
remember
great,
her name,
and I think the show should have been about her the whole time. Like
the Spartan,
huh?
The Spartan?
Yeah, the Spartan.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, yeah, I can't remember her name. I feel bad. Kai.
Yeah, no, I've gone blank on her name too.
Yeah.
Kai.
Yes. Kai.
Yeah, very good actress. I don't think she's done a lot of acting too, and but she's
no.
She's
She's done a lot of video game performances, but I don't think she's done any a ton of live performances. So she's doing really good. Wish the show was just about her instead. You know.
Well, that's one of the main things with Fallout. It's this world that you're building another story in. It feels like with The Last of Us, they did a really good job of retelling The Last of Us, and with Halo, they didn't want to just retell it.
They're trying to do
season-
both with Halo.
Yeah.
They're trying to retell it and also trying to tell a
pull
bigger world.
pieces
and it's-
away from like have their own story, but then use
Mm-hmm.
the skeleton of it. But season 1 was a tale of pre-COVID. Everything's open. You've got the warthog chase, like scene fight in
Mm-hmm.
episode 4 or something 5. But then after that, it became so much about indoor walk and talk because COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
and they took a full year off from filming, and like everything changed because they couldn't go on location and do anything anymore. So season 2 was a lot of correcting that, I feel, to where season 3, and I think Nick agrees with me, is going more to a place where they're starting
Hopefully.
a Halo story we're more familiar with.
For fuck's sake, man! It's been like how many years already? You know,
I know, man. Like,
we already started the Fallout story in Fallout Season 1, Episode 1. That's the issue. You know, as soon as she leaves the vault, the story has started already. You know,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Like I said, if you force your way to the end of season 2, you'll see the potential for season 3
Mm-hmm.
being something closer to what most of us, and I shouldn't say everyone, because the show is surprisingly successful despite its quality. Like my wife has never played a Halo video game, but she loved season 1, and I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, it's really good. I'm like, man, this does not have anything that I want in it, so I'm quite surprised at how much you like it. She
The
liked
Dr.
season
Housey
2
stuff was
less.
pretty interesting. I thought it was, you know, I never liked the Dr. Housey character anyway, so I was like, you can do whatever the fuck you want with her. You know, she's not, she's not like a precious character that needs to never be changed or whatever. To me, you know, she was. So you know, they did some interesting stuff. Xbox, for fuck's sake, do not make a Starfield TV show. Do not make a Starfield TV show. It's not going
the
to
way
work.
Todd has talked, if somebody comes to them with a great idea, then he'll entertain it. But it's not like they're looking to do anything, because like people have said, how come you don't do Elder Scrolls? He's like, well, there hasn't been a great story. Like, what would it really be? What the budget's going to be enormous?
Honestly,
like,
I would say, don't do an Elder Scrolls movie either, because the whole point of Elder Scrolls is that just ripping off other fantasy things, anyways. You know, so
well,
it's like
that was a lot of Halo too, which is why I think they had to try and make their own thing. And
that's true. Yeah, I mean that's why you know, Uncharted movies they make no sense because the Indiana Jones movies already exist. You know, but but the Uncharted movies are also successful too. So you know, who am I to?
And Twisted Metal's TV show was even okay, even though that never had a good story. So you never know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I still think Halo's video game story is good enough to have a decent TV show.
There's barely any arc to it.
What do you mean?
Almost nothing happens
there. There's enough there, especially if you take a little bit from the books and you take a little bit from Halo 2 and a little bit from Halo 3. There's enough there.
I'm surprised they didn't just adapt the books again. You know, the books are right there. You know.
The books are very tropey.
Children who were abducted. They're children who were abducted and modified, and their clones were pre-programmed to die, and they were like basically tortured, becoming these Spartans. That's a pretty good grounding already.
I think they are tropey, Jesse, and I think the reason why the show is what it is because they try to avoid all these tropes, and it's like, okay, well, why are you making these decisions? You know, and it's like I think people like the tropes. I think they like the trope of Master Chief. You know, they just want him to be the strong silent hero.
Yeah,
you know,
like there's nothing wrong with it. And there's this weapon called Halo, and the Covenant have found it, and they want it, and then the humans want to stop. There's enough there. Like it doesn't have to be anything off the charts. Like there's enough.
Yeah. I'm a huge Halo fan too, by the way. So
I could tell from your Discord name.
I'm not.
As soon as I saw your Discord name, I'm like, Gene's a bit of an Xbox fan. He's like an old Xbox fan, eh?
I'm an old Xbox
Halo
fan.
specifically.
I was actually at the Xbox premiere party back in E3. Was really enamored by the idea of Microsoft entering the game space. It was fantastic. And then I heard about Halo, you know, and then I saw that Halo got a 10 in EGM, and I was like, wow. I really got to check out this Xbox then. Like, I think they really did something special here, and I did, and it changed my life. You know, Halo is one of my top 5 favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
Halo 1.
Too.
You know,
yeah,
I love Halo Infinite too. I'm
the
the guy who also gave Halo Infinite. like a 9.5 or something. You know,
It's still an 87 on OpenCritic. It's like people will look at how the live service side of it just was not ready to go, as in they literally didn't have a live service team somehow. But like the game at launch was huge. It just didn't stay successful in the way they were hoping for constantly making money.
Yeah, even at launch, the multiplayer suite was already cool enough as it is. It just wasn't a live service, you know.
And then they broke
But
it
as a
after a
package,
month.
yeah, it was a decent package as a multiplayer. You know, now looking back, it's like it's clear that we bought the multiplayer and then the campaign was a DLC. Like that's how the actual like suite is structured, which is so fucking annoying. I hate that. And then so we don't even get the campaign on disc at all. It's just the campaign is literally DLC that we have to download every single time we want to play Halo.
And it's set up in a way where they could have just kept adding in more campaigns, which would have been really cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally why the fucking structure is that way, and then they just don't do it. You know,
it was the Call of Duty setup where you can just I beat this campaign, I'll get rid of it. Now I saved 30 gigs, but then they never ended up doing anything with it. So.
Yeah, and then now we just go back to the last 3-4 years of complaining about Halo, which is
yeah. We'll see what Pierre does. Now, before we get to any news, because we haven't even started talking about any of the news, there's a couple of super chats. Ursel, we've got, hey Gene, welcome to the show. Great to have you. It is great to have Gene.
Great to have you.
I apologize for all the harassment. And we've got another super chat from Jones. Hey, my not so beautiful guys. With Starfield getting 60 FPS now, is there also a chance for Hellblade 2 getting 60 FPS later?
Totally.
I reckon it's a pretty safe bet, mate. Don't worry about their creative
visions.
Well, the creative visions are, what are you aiming for right at the start? And you don't know exactly what the hardware is going to be. It's not like, we just only want this 30. They also...
Just be honest.
Just
say, hey... We couldn't get it in on time. Hey, it was too tricky to do early on. Just say the truth.
They haven't really said much. It's just this is what it's going to be, and it's because like they've shown
cringier.
it on. Good.
It's just so much cringier to say that it's just a creative vision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And we may as well lead that straight into the first topic, which is Starfield's update that got announced, because that's part of the news. So Starfield is getting 60 FPS when apparently it wasn't going to be possible.
It wasn't possible at launch. No, they've done a
Phil
lot of
was
work
the one who said it was a creative vision, right? Phil was the one who said it, right?
I think he said on the
and
couch.
Todd.
And it's generally...
I thought Todd said it too.
The vision of what we can put out at launch. And I don't think... They never said we'll never do it. It's just this is how we built it, knowing what we were going to need performance-wise versus what we were expecting to have. Now, after having time with the hardware, getting things set up, they've figured out. I think the only thing I would have really liked them to focus on is having that 40 FPS 120 hertz thing, because it would have been a nice alternative for people who have displays like that. But it felt like they wanted to take their time, take a little time off because it was right around the holidays, and cook. They've got 30 or 60 if you're on a regular screen, or 30, 40, 60 if you have a variable rate refresh enabled display, with the 40 and 60 being unlocked. So they can go above 60 if you're in like a tiny room staring at a wall or something, maybe. Because Fallout 4 still can't do that without the physics breaking. I've been having a huge problem with that on PC, where I have an AMD card and they do their fluid motion frames, and so it's running like 350 frames per second, and everyone's talking like a chipmunk and everything's flying around. But Starfield doesn't do that, thankfully. They finally fixed it. So they've got that. They've got the new maps where people wanted a more structured city map that you can go through and look at and see all the cool icons on. I saw Paul Tassi post a tweet saying, wow, this looks terrible. It's like because it was fully zoomed out. So all the icons were just a jumble. But you can zoom in and rotate it, and it looks really good, shows where you are, all that stuff. Okay. You can now set... So vehicle teased for the future. Not in this update. This update is...
Oh, it's not going to be in this update.
So the beta that you're playing right now, is that the full update pretty much?
That is the full update. They generally go through them. So it's spending 2 weeks in beta on Steam. I think it was normally like 10 to 20 days has been the average on the first 3 updates on beta, or 2. Okay. So on May 5th, they gave them a date on this one, so they feel pretty confident about it. And it was rock solid for me on PC. It'll hit consoles on May 15th for... And the Microsoft Store. So Microsoft Store and Xbox consoles, May 15th. It's got that. It's got the full game options suite where you can make it so you do more damage, you do less damage, because they already had difficulty modes. But say you're playing on easy and you still just want it even easier, like Nick would. You can make it so you do more damage and they do less damage. You can carry more. You can essentially almost get rid of encumbrance if you want. You can make it so the vendors have way more credits, because originally they didn't want you just constantly finding things and selling them to make money. They wanted you
But
to
you can actually get rid of encumbrance. I'm sorry.
You can make it so you can carry way more. So it's not gone, but you can make it so it was a lot. It felt like double or triple the norm at least. So
That's a
but
lot.
the main thing you can do, Gene, is you can make it so you can access your ship cargo from anywhere. You don't have to be
Oh
near it.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much infinite then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not infinite. but
Any positive effects like that, you earn a little less experience. Any more deleterious effects to your player experience, you gain more experience with every activity you do, whether it's murdering or
most people are
quests.
over leveled anyways. So
Yeah, so it's like a small amount too. It's like -4 or +6 or something. It's nothing crazy. But also,
cares?
you can now have it so they don't zoom in on conversations. The camera just stays
That looks
wherever you
interesting.
are. It
Yeah,
is
that looks cool.
Cool. It's. I don't mind the zoom in on the face thing, but it could be
I
jarring.
never minded it either. I liked it. You know.
Once you don't use it though, you're like, oh, this is really smooth. Because I'm in first person, I start a conversation, it just stays there. Or I'm in third person, I can see myself and the people around me, move the camera. It's kind of cool. It's nice to have the option. Also performance.
Isn't it strange though? Yeah, isn't it strange though that the Series S doesn't get 60?
No, that's happened with a lot of performance modes on Xbox. I think this is the first one for first party where they're not doing 60 on both when they put a performance mode
But all I
in.
keep hearing is how frame rate is very much CPU bound, and the Series S and X have the same CPU.
It's not always. Like this is also a very GPU heavy game and memory heavy game. So there are times where, like Dragon's Dogma, where the CPU really can tank you. Like I'm on a friggin' very powerful PC with I got a 7900 XTX, I got a 5800X and 64 gigs of RAM, but I'm in a city where there's like 100 people all being simulated at once, and that my CPU is just pinged the entire time, and I'm at 35 frames per second, even if I lower a lot of the graphical settings. But
it's not going to do anything, you know.
Yeah, so with the Series S, it probably just doesn't have the headroom. I would have liked to seen if they could have done the 40 VRR mode, but the thing with the Series S is it's not what you buy if you're looking for performance. It's what you're buying for cheaper to be able to play new things in some capacity.
For my kids to play Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good Fortnite machine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good
my
Fortnite,
son
Roblox
literally
machine.
bought the Fortnite bundle.
Yeah, Roblox. Yeah, Roblox, Minecraft, and Rocket League.
Keeping my kids from spending.
Rocket League, yeah.
They want to buy Robux all the time.
Those are the only 4 games people play anyway. So, like, what the fuck is anyone else doing? You know?
Call of Duty, Fortnite, Roblox, and a couple more, and you've pretty much got your top 5 to 10.
I was
on
also
those platforms.
to be clear, I was insanely hooked on Fortnite for 3 years. I even went on a I even
back,
went on
Gene.
a silent retreat with
Come
Franciscan monks.
Oh,
To completely silent, a prayer retreat where there's no access to technology or internet or talking or anything like that. And even in the middle of the woods, my phone was able to get a connection, and I was still fucking playing Fortnite. Like even though I'm supposed to be in this religious retreat of silence, cone of silence, I was just like, well, I can just grind a little bit more and do my dailies real quick. Right?
when did you stop playing?
Huh?
When did you stop?
I think man, it was right before they actually got rid of the build, right? So the right when they introduced no build mode, I just quit for some reason because I've been waiting for no build mode this whole time.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of it. I was like, okay, I guess I'm done. But I don't know. I still have Fortnite always installed everywhere because I spent thousands of dollars in Fortnite. So
Same here.
Him too. I haven't spent
Same
that.
here.
I spent so much money in Fortnite. I was really
Me
hooked
too.
onto it. So
Like I buy. I mean, I pick and choose my battle passes. The current, like the Gene. Oh, dude, you gotta come back.
The last time I spent money on Fortnite was when Goku. So that's the last time I actually logged on and spent money on Fortnite was when Goku got introduced. And I literally just logged on, bought Goku, didn't even fucking play him, and I just logged off. I was just like, and that's when I realized, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm not even playing this video game. I just bought this character, and I know how the character's gonna play. That's why I logged off because I was like, "Fuck it,"
Just
you know?
like all the others.
Yeah, just like all the others. I don't give a shit if he's gonna do a Kamehameha, you know. He's still
Dude,
gonna run
I've
around
got the
with
same
AK
problem.
and just shoot bros, you know. That's exactly.
I've
what
got
he's
the
gonna do
same
for most of the
problem.
time. And I was
My
like, what
problem's
the fuck am I
worse.
doing? So I was like, maybe I should just like calm down in this game for a little bit and just like not buy things. And
Nah,
that's
you
what
gotta
I'm doing.
come back. The current
I do.
season is the
I do. There's
best
a
one
thousand
since
different
the
things in
Marvel
Fortnite
one.
now that are much cooler. Like I've been waiting for
Yes.
walking animations this whole time, so I know that you can actually walk with walk animations in Fortnite now. It's like I've been waiting for that since day one. So yeah,
You've got to come back.
I'm coming back to Fortnite. It's inevitable. So
The current season, which is actually about to end, it's a Greek mythology season. It is.
oh, I can pass
my
on that one. I'm tired of Greek mythology, so I'll pass.
Nick
Oh,
is
it's
Nick
my
is
s-
Greek, so it's like his dream come
Oh,
true.
okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
then. I'm
my
sorry.
second favorite season since the Marvel season. It is
The
so
Marvel season
good.
Marvel season was good. So
Oh my god,
I
Marvel
know
season.
I'm even
was
tired
just
of my
incredible.
Marvel too, but yeah, the Marvel season was good. But yeah, I'll check it out for the next season then. Since it's already almost up, then it's a good time to jump onto the next season.
Oh, it's so good now. Just all the movement options, traversal options, the guns.
movement options.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's so great. But I've got a worse problem than you. Like I spend all this money on skins, and then I just keep using Chun-Li because I just want to stare at her while I'm playing.
I
And yet
only use
keep
Master
buying
Chief.
skins.
I only use
Oh,
Master Chief.
really?
I only use Master Chief because as soon as the Master Chief skin dropped, I was like, that is the only skin I've wanted on Fortnite this whole time, and that's it. I just want to run around as a Spartan. I fucking love Halo, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like the ability to run around as third person Master Chief in a really good shooter that
He's
feels
a
like
great
really,
model.
yeah, he's a great model, and I've wanted third person Halo for like a long time. So me playing Fortnite and being able to slide around and like just do climbing animations with him,
Yeah, yeah.
like, and Fortnite for me reminds me of Halo. It reminds me of like the great arena shooters, right? It reminds me of Unreal, you know. So that's why I love playing as only Master Chief, and that's why I'm just wasting my money on every other character. That's why I've kind of stopped. I was like, you know what, I don't need to spend any more skins because I already have the skin that I want, you know.
Yeah.
Nick
I
is a
keep doing the
collector.
same thing.
Nick loves collecting. He's got every amiibo. I give him games constantly on Xbox. He's never gonna play, but he just wants to have them.
Oh man, you gotta come back. It's so good now.
I'm a collector on Nintendo Switch. I have a bunch of games on Switch that I haven't even played, but I just own just to have it on physical or whatever.
I've
Like-
got a
like
lot to go back to. I have a lot to go
Code
back to.
Princess
Kirby.
X, you know, which is a rare game on Switch. I haven't played it all, but you know, I just wanted it because it's rare. You know,
Do you buy amiibos?
I do. I've had to stop because I'm not going to buy every single one. I'm not going to do that.
No, neither am I. I didn't do that.
Yeah, so
But
I've got a
curious.
bunch right here. There's two shelves up here, and then my work shelf at the Washington Post is all amiibos too. So
Let's see. Have you got this one?
no, I don't have that one. No. So
The Nintendo Australia eBay account sent out an email to everyone going, hey, we managed to secure some of these from Japan. Not many. Jump on our eBay store and try and grab them. They only had 50 and I got one.
yeah.
And I was like so excited. I was so wrapped. This thing's never coming out of that packaging.
No,
ever.
I still open all of mine, so they're all on my shelf too. So
I opened most of mine. I've only left about 10 or 15 still in the packet, like the Mario 8-bit one, the Link 8-bit one, the Gold and Silver, and a few others. But all the rest are open. And I dust them every month or so and everything because I can't help myself because there's something wrong with me. So, yeah.
You're just a little broken inside.
A little bit. There's something wrong. Super chat from Risker for the Biscuit. The Series S is the Collingwood of consoles. Shut up, dude. You'll see next weekend. We will see next weekend, mate. Ignore him, G. Now, we almost got on quite I say almost. We did get on a massive Fortnite tangent, but
no, yeah, we did.
yeah.
We're talking about Starfield.
What have we got next? So Microsoft finally announced something we all knew would be coming, which was the Xbox Showcase, June 9th. It's always the same time every year. Old
You know
E3
when next
time.
year's is going to be? I'm going to take a crazy guess. I'm going to guess
Yeah.
June 8th, 2025.
Yeah.
It might be
Where's
around
the
then.
calendar?
It's
Let
the
me tell
second
you when-
Sunday after in June.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Hold on.
That's it.
Yeah, you're
That's
probably
all.
right.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Yes,
It's June 8th
Yep.
next year.
June 8th. Yeah, because it always falls on Queen's / now King's birthday in Melbourne. Always falls the same day every single year. The King's birthday public holiday, which is great for me because I have to get up at 3 a.m. for it, or 2:30 a.m. for the bloody live stream. And it works out okay because it's a public holiday, so I can sleep in. So it's not so bad. But yes, Microsoft have finally announced the showcase, also with the Redacted
Where they
direct
literally
straight
leave
after it.
the Activision. You can see the Activision logo
Yeah.
in the bottom right. It fits perfectly.
So
if
we
you
know
put
it's-
PNG over it. Yeah.
Yes, we know it's Call of Duty. Black Ops 5.
Will
I
they
wanna
do?
say.
So they did 4. So there's been 5 Black Ops. So the last one was Cold War. It wasn't 5 because they had to
Yeah.
take over Sledgehammer's game. So I am curious if they do the 5, is it going to be the slash through 4 lines? Because 4 was 4 lines, like a kill count. But that's not a font thing, so it's going to be very annoying if they do.
It will be.
Wow, an Xbox showcase with Call of Duty finally as a headliner though. So that's gonna be interesting to see the excitement around a Call of Duty release. All the mainstream excitement with all the NBA players, all the NFL players, jumping on to an Xbox showcase hype. That could be different. That could be different. That could be
It's
significant.
been a long
for
time.
It's
It's
gonna be
been
significant for Xbox.
Decade about now.
Yeah.
A decade, yeah.
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 And do we think they will then also save it since they're dedicating an entire mini part of the show to Call of Duty? Do we think they're then going to go, okay, and here's all the old Call of Duties in Game Pass, and here's
Please,
all of...
I hope so.
At least if
surely.
they can get some of the newer ones, because I know the 360 ones still have massive hacker problems. They fixed them so they work online again, but people can still hack their saves on a 360 and have hacked servers, and it's rough. But yeah, if they're able to get like the Xbox One ones, Modern Warfare 3 probably out of the question unless they work a deal with Sony. The new CEO might be more open to that. You never know. I don't think Jim Ryan's not there anymore for a reason, because they're, as much as people shit on Xbox, like gaming's down everywhere and Sony's margins are very bad. They definitely want to turn that around. They're not going to have COD marketing ever again. They know that. Why be petty about it? If Microsoft wants to give you some money or something in return, sure, let them have a game on Game Pass type thing. Could happen. Who knows?
I've actually unsubscribed from Game Pass, but I've also unsubscribed from PlayStation Plus as well. Both subscription models, because both of them are not that interesting to me. But if all Call of Duty,
play online?
Huh?
Do you not play online?
I play online, but I don't need the subscription for any free games or anything like that.
Yeah, free to play. You don't need it.
Oh, okay. So you play mostly the free-to-play games online?
Yeah.
Okay. But what about your cloud saves on PlayStation?
Wait, no, whatever premium tier to have the free games, I don't do that. I don't like the extra or whatever. I don't subscribe to that.
Oh, so you just do PlayStation Plus Essential?
Yeah, is whatever the basic is for me playing online and just like getting a game or whatever the top tier for getting like a whole bunch of games. I don't do that.
It's weird on PlayStation because they got like 4. They got 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I don't fucking know what the PlayStation fucking tiers are because they're fucking confusing. Yeah, credit to Game Pass that it's a lot more it's like a lot less confusing. There's Game Pass and then there's Game Pass Gold, which is
there's Game Pass Core, which is just Gold renamed, but they give you 30 something games. There's PC Game Pass, which gets you Game Pass on PC and EA Play,
and then there's Ultimate Game Pass,
and then Ultimate gets you everything, including the cloud.
Yeah. So I just got Game Pass Core, and I just have the PlayStation equivalent of whatever Game Pass Core is, which is
Essentials.
Essentials, whatever. Nintendo is I think it actually has the most valuable subscription service right now because at least it has the old school Nintendo games,
and it's
PlayStation
cheap
barely has old school
in
PlayStation games on
comparison.
there,
Yeah, they barely added any PS2 or anything because like they patented that whole. They have the emulator, but I don't know, maybe they just didn't see much usage in them, so they didn't think it was worth doing more. I don't know.
Or they discovered the head fuck that all the licensing is, like Microsoft did with the backwards compatibility.
Exactly.
program.
But if all the Call of Duty games jump on Game Pass, I'm joining Game Pass right away again. You know, I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for Call
Are
of
you
Duty.
really into COD?
Huh?
Are you really into COD?
I used to be really really into COD, especially the old school games. You know,
Yeah.
I'm old school. I saw Call of Duty at E3, that same E3, first Call of Duty, and I dismissed it. I was like, oh, it's a Medal of Honor wannabe, whatever. You know,
Mm-hmm.
me not knowing that the Medal of Honor folks fucking jumped there and then made.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that, I was like, oh, I was completely fucking wrong, and Call of Duty is amazing. And then I said, yeah, so I was huge into Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, the original ones.
Oh yeah.
I really love it. Even Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare too. I've been a Call of Duty fan the whole time. It's just the last one I haven't really played that much. So,
And oddly enough, as
Fair enough.
lambasted as it was review-wise, it's still been immensely successful and has more players than ever. Like that game can't die, no matter how badly they seem to mess at least one part of it up. It always still just keeps going.
yeah, every year we're gonna complain about it, and then everyone's just gonna play it
But
again.
there's already
anyways.
people complaining that it's going to be a part of the show, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like the biggest friggin' thing. It's like, yes, you now own Call of Duty. That was one of the big things you bought. You can't say, we now own Candy Crush. Here's a Candy Crush thing, and people will care, but they will very much care about Call of Duty. It's like they know what works. They rarely have very long Minecraft segments, but a Call of Duty one is going to be as big as it gets outside of like GTA next year.
That's true. Yeah, it's not like they spend a ton of time on Elder Scrolls Online, even though they do dedicate quite a bit of time to it, right? But then they know that they're not going to spend a whole section and have a whole show just for Elder Scrolls Online. They know where the priorities are. So yeah, I mean, come on, guys, you would need a Call of Duty show. You know, Call of Duty is its own thing. You know,
Yes.
it's like Pokemon.
Yes.
They'll probably have like a 30-second to a minute long trailer like they did with Starfield last year that then says keep watching after the show for our
Keep
full
watching.
direct.
Yeah, and then
So-
we're gonna hear about how it's the most advanced Call of Duty ever. And
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And, it's
And
gonna be the
AI.
same thing. Yeah.
So outside of Call of Duty, which we all know is going to be there, what else do we think will be there? We'll do official predictions closer to the show, but I mean, they've announced that and we're talking about it. So we expect to see Indy, I assume. Indiana
I would
Jones.
expect everything that's got announced this year that doesn't have a date will probably get a date or a month at least.
Avowed, right?
Yep,
Indie, Avowed, Flight Sim 24,
Flight Sim,
Call of Duty, Towerborn,
South of
Project
Midnight.
Ara, History Untold. So
What about South of Midnight? Surely
I wouldn't mind.
there's rumors floating around already.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you keep your ear to the ground on rumors, we're hearing Gear 6, Perfect
6, yeah.
Dark. God, I need to see more Perfect
Clockwork
Dark.
Revolution
And-
was a year-old trailer last year, according to Matt Booty. That trailer was from 2022. It could have been ready for that show, so I wouldn't be shocked. Like everything that's coming in 2025, I would expect to at least have them mention it in some fashion, like Fable and Perfect Dark and everything that feels closer. I think the only ones, no clue on Everwild, but they seem positive whenever they talk about it in the very little bit that they do on social media. And State of Decay 3 hasn't been talked about in a while. That's the only one I would be unsure on.
Okay.
Double Fine
Just trying
and
to think.
Kiln, you know, you never know.
Yeah.
The Wu-Tang
There's,
game, like all the stuff that gets leaked all the time.
there's
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we're waiting. I mean, me personally, I'm obviously still praying that we finally
Gears.
hear about the Gears collection. Please, just end my misery.
I would be
Mostly
so
huge
happy
Gears
with Gears
fan.
3 on PC in a new
Yeah,
form.
God, the Gears on Steam Deck would be so amazing. Gears 1, 2, and 3, even 4 and 5. I love 4 and 5 so much.
Do you
even
really?
4. I
Yeah.
love 4.
They're really good games.
What's-
4 runs into the issue with being too much horde mode feeling in some of the firefights, but the overall story and everything, like, yeah.
I like the robot fights. I thought they were cool. You know, I thought it was pretty chunky to fight the robots. It reminded me of Binary Domain, which is a very very underrated game.
Oh
by the-
God, I remember that game.
yeah, by the Yakuza team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gears 5 is with the open world. Awesome, so cool. I miss the
Really?
Gears series. Yeah.
And see, I wanted Gears to go more linear and lean more into survival horror-y type direction than the open world.
Their open world was a hub world, though. It wasn't an open world you had to run around in. You were using the skiff to get to linear sections. Like
it's linear levels,
Yeah.
It reminded me of Dead Space 3 in a way, you know.
An
The
underrated
good parts
game.
of Dead Space 3. Yeah, the good parts of Dead Space 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dead Space 3 could have been so good if
Jesse, yes,
if it
finally.
wasn't if it was 5 years ago EA. Dead Space 3 would have been incredible.
Yeah. Oh my
less.
gosh, someone who actually
Yeah.
appreciates Dead Space 3 a little
Dead
bit.
Space is one of my absolute favorite IPs, and the fact that they're not going to
1 and 2 are amazing.
One amazing.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are amazing.
2 one of the best things
okay.
ever. 3 in co-op is great if you do it twice where you play as each character and see how different it is. But if solo compared to the other ones, weaker.
I use restroom.
I only played solo and I
Go for
did
it.
not enjoy it.
Go Tinkle.
Okay. We have a couple of super chats.
Ooh.
One's
a renewal. Yeah, I can't show it if it's a renewal. Sorry.
Well, executive producer. I was about to say start a super chat. Executive producer, Ass4ssin Entertainment. First COD game I ever played was Modern Warfare 2019. So I never had the Xbox 360 COD experience. I want to know what makes them so special. Oh, dude, really? It's not. I can't imagine playing COD for the first time now without any
People
of
are
that.
younger.
Like, having said that, though, if you're gonna pick a modern day COD to play. If you've never played COD, Modern Warfare 2019 is not a bad start.
Yeah, it's about as good.
I
as it
would
gets.
argue.
Though I actually don't
Advanced
think the multiplayer was that
Warfare.
great. It was okay.
Advanced Warfare was an incredible campaign.
Yes, no, Advanced Warfare's campaign I loved. The multiplayer was some of the worst. Because
Shite.
they
Worst
couldn't-
in the series.
The worst, like, I loved playing it at first, but then the more I played it and the more I just had the worst spawn killing experiences since Halo,
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I can't do this. It's so bad.
Because the maps weren't designed for that traversal.
No.
They were designed for normal COD traversal.
The squirty
and all of a
fart
sudden
jump.
you spawn and people just jump out of the air and instantly kill you where you spawn. I'm like, who the fuck designed these maps? Like, what the hell is going on? So Advanced Warfare, if all you care about is campaigns, Ass4ssin Entertainment, go and play Advanced Warfare. It could be the best campaign in the entire
Infinite
franchise.
Warfare,
It is.
pretty good. A pretty good campaign.
I haven't played that one.
But
I actually haven't played that one.
It never got a 1X update, like, because they updated it for the Pro, because it was real close to that on launch, but then the 1X was obviously later, and they never went back and updated it, unfortunately, so it's still like 1080, 60.
Oh, okay. No, Advanced Warfare is just incredible. And even Kevin Spacey, regardless of his issues.
He has been
He's actually-
exonerated of everything. That's all we can say.
That's right. He's technically an innocent man.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I don't think it was ever criminal.
So was OJ.
more- yeah, OJ was found guilty in the civil suit. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
But
and
yes,
then wrote a book
Kevin
saying,
Spacey's
I
actually.
didn't do it, but if I did, Kevin Spacey
Yeah.
hasn't written that book yet.
But Kevin Spacey's performance in it, like, he's actually taking it seriously. Like, he's actually quite decent in Advanced Warfare. I love the campaign in that game. I fucking loved it. Like, it was so good. But Modern Warfare 2019 has one of the best COD levels ever in that clearinghouse one, where they just, you've got night vision the whole time, and you're just going room to, oh, God, I love shit like that.
But then they had to go and make the Highway of Death a not American thing, because like, oh shit, if we actually said that America did this, people would be like, wow, you're the bad guys. You're like, yeah, we're at that point.
But yes, the old COD games, I think, like, what makes them so special? I don't know if there's anything specific that makes them special. It was just up until Call of Modern Warfare in 2007, so the original Modern Warfare, Halo was obviously the pinnacle of first-person shooters on console, and there was nothing like it. But COD came along and gave us a 60 FPS, good-looking console shooter that felt tight and fast and great, and it was a military setting at a time when 2007, so we're obviously we're clearly post 9/11, and so, but we're still tangled up in that time, and I think it just all came together, and everyone just wanted the hoorah military thing, and it all just came together. And it was a genuinely great campaign. Again, with some of the best levels to this day, like all gillied up, which is still an incredible level in COD 4. And the multiplayer was really fun and great back then, before it succumbed to all the hacking and the cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was... it was good. And then Black Ops came. Black Ops was great, and then Modern Warfare 2 was unreal. Although I have to admit, Modern Warfare 2 turned me off the multiplayer a bit. The maps were built in a way that just encouraged the camping. And as someone who played hardcore, man, the camping was annoying. But yeah, it was good. Special time. Good old Collingwood. Sick asks, do we have a rumor mill this week? There is no rumor mill this week.
Then
no.
Sick will be happy.
Yeah, not this week. I don't think I've got the green light on certain things. Oh, don't worry. As we're getting closer to E3 season, the DMs are coming thick and fast. There are things I wish I could say, but I cannot. Unfortunately. Another super chat. Jason, will Nick play Rocket League live during the subathon? Fake the for you live. It depends what time it is. Maybe I'll jump on and
It'll be
play a bit of
it'll
Rocket
literally
League.
be all day. So
Apologies
Will
about that.
Oh, okay, so
No,
I
it's no
could jump
problem,
in
dude.
at some point and play
Yeah.
Rocket League.
yeah, for people wondering, next Thursday, starting probably, it might be even earlier. It might be like 4 a.m. Eastern because it'll be John starting his morning time in the UK. We're just going to do at least 24-hour subathon where we're trying to make up all the money because John is going to LA for Summer Games Fest to do a lot of cool shit that we can't talk about yet. And we're all, myself, Nick, and John, going to Gamescom in August, which is going to cost a lot of money. Yeah. I got my
Yes.
passport for the first time. I've been an East Coast boy my entire life. Now I'm finally leaving the country for a little bit, and it's going to cost a lot of money.
I'm looking at the chat. Nick, please spoil everything. Don't hold anything back. Look, Abdul. I already know a couple of things that are at the Xbox showcase. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be teasing like that, but I'm already
He's
aware
lying.
of a couple of things about the Xbox showcase. I'll see what I get the green light for.
Well,
I'll
then you
see.
can
Like
tease
I said,
them
you
on
know how I
Twitter.
am. I am just the dummy. They are the ventriloquists. If they say talk dummy, then I'll talk. If they say don't talk dummy, then I won't talk. So
And you can
don't
definitely
worry,
do
there's
it
some good
on
things.
Twitter because then we don't get in trouble because when you say something, it's always XboxEra reports because people are idiots and they just don't actually pay attention to where or how something came out.
Okay. Well, and I'm hearing some decent things about the PlayStation show as well, especially for me.
The supposed
Assassin's-
late May PlayStation show that Grub has alluded to as well a bunch.
Yes, I said that on Twitter. I said I think Grub's already spoken about this.
Yeah,
but
and he's still
from
not
what I'm
sure,
hearing,
not sure if it's a showcase or a state of play.
I'm
who knows?
leaning more towards state of play than a showcase. I'm leaning more towards state of play and towards the end of the month, but don't have dates or anything like that. But again, do have a couple of games that are supposed to be there, and oh boy,
And if you tease them, they won't be.
Assassin- Yeah, I'm not going to say anything
they're
yet.
petty.
I'll wait till closer to the show when I have the full list. Assassin Entertainment, Gears of War, Fable, COD, Perfect Dark, maybe, possibly at the showcase. Add Halo to that lineup, and you'd think it's 2006 again when I was 8. Oh my God, you were 8 in 2006.
Yeah, we got a lot of young fans, Nick. We're cool and hip, even though we're all in our 40s now.
Oh,
8 in 2006. So what? You're
My
like
son would have
26
been
now?
2, and his sister would have been -2.
Oh,
I was 26 in 2006.
I was 24.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
25. I was 25.
I'm older than Gene,
We're a
too.
year,
I'm older
and yet
than
for some
Gene.
goddamn
Whoa,
annoying
that's crazy,
reason,
Nick.
Nick always looks the youngest. John's like
Yeah, Nick looks really-
4 years younger
Yeah,
than him. and
Nick,
looks
you
twice
you
the
look
age.
like you look Nick, you look like you were fucking 8 in 2006. So shut the fuck up. But you take good care of yourself. But yeah, yeah,
I like you,
was,
Gene.
I was 25.
I like
in
you, man.
2006. God damn.
In
the
the interest of time,
Mediterranean.
Nick, we do have community
Yes.
questions and the game show to get to in Nick's.
Yes,
in,
I know,
James'
and I was
time
about to
frame,
cut
so,
to them.
Yeah.
Yes, I was about to cut to those now because the rest of the news stuff is like whatever.
Yeah.
Risk it for the biscuit. Gears Tactics 2.
I really liked one. It's fun.
I didn't finish one, but you know,
It's a
I
little
didn't finish it
samey.
either, but I enjoyed what I
Yeah.
played.
yeah, I think that Xbox should do more side games like that, though. You
Mhm.
know,
Yes.
Halo Wars, Gears Tactics.
Yep.
They should be flexing their IP more. Everyone's talking about how the Fallout should be going into other studios or whatever. Yes, give us smaller, bite-sized experiences made by other studios with these IP. You know, give us Gears
Yep.
cards. You know,
100%.
Gears
Now, one
Tactics,
thing I do
whatever.
want to very lightly, quickly touch on before we cut to what year, my dear. Take-Two has inexplicably shut down a few studios, which is just Roll 7. Seriously, Roll 7. Like,
They only owned it for like 2.5 years or something too.
come on, man. Like, wasn't Roller Dome relatively successful?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Roller Drome launched on PlayStation Plus, I think, too, and then went into
Yeah.
Game Pass. So, like,
Game Pass.
Mhm.
Like,
Ollie Ollie World was really well
Take-
liked. The Ollie, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
It's
Take
tough.
Two of all publishers. What, you don't make enough money, and you're not about to make a shit ton more when GTA
Well,
6 comes
That
out?
seems to be the big thing. Is GTA had a chance at this year, and now that it's not this fiscal year, they're in the we gotta make number go up as much as we can, or keep number from go down as much as we can.
Fucking
mode.
bullshit, man.
It's tough.
It's fucking-
It's the way we do business here in the U.S. It's just awful that we can. There's no job security. You know,
Yeah.
Japan doesn't allow layoffs like this. You know, that's why their games are so good, because they have all this institutional knowledge that just sticks around. You know, the guy who made Mario back in 2006 is still making Mario today. You know.
Yeah.
And they just spent
And
a bunch of
not
money
just that,
buying
like-
all the, like Gearbox and the other stuff, so that ended up they had to offset it somehow.
Yeah,
But
then
if
here-
you know
here in
your
the
job
West,
is safe,
here in the West, it's just like, oh, Clint Hawking is over there. He's not working on Far. He hasn't worked on Far Cry since Far Cry 2 or whatever. And like, oh, Warren Spector is off doing this one because fuck Warren Spector, because his fucking games don't sell anything anymore. It's crazy. It's the way we treat our talent here. It's just awful.
it is. It's. I mean, that's part of the reason Nintendo's games are so good, because the people making them probably feel safe and happy in their job. Like
I think it's one of the highest
the next day.
ranked company. It's the highest ranked company in like Japan's version of Glassdoor. Is
Yeah,
Nintendo.
not like a 99% job retention rate. Nobody just quits. You know.
Mm.
Yeah, sure. If you're a contractor, you'll lose your job, but that's
Yeah.
because you're a contractor. That's the nature
Yeah,
of
that's right.
contractors.
Mhm.
You're gonna lose your job, and at the end of the contract, it's over. You know.
Although I'm sure Nintendo's not perfect. You do hear some crunch. There is some
of
alluding
course,
to a bit of
yeah.
crunch at Nintendo, but aside from that,
Here's my thing about crunch, man. Journalists crunch all the time. Like, you know,
Yes.
like I don't understand where we as journalists have any kind of authority to report on crunch when I look in the newsroom and I always see people working there through midnight all the time. You know, it's not because that's their shift.
I
because-
never thought about that.
Yeah, you know, because they're working hard. You know, it's like it just happens everywhere. You know. Anyways,
I think it's
I mean,
I think it's the
I mean, you
separation
shouldn't do crunch,
between
but
like
yes, you know.
there's forced crunch,
Mhm.
and I guess there's organic crunch
Mhm.
that comes from people that just are there. They're in that
mismanagement and
mode,
everything,
and they're grinding away, and they don't even realize the time has gone, or
Yeah,
they just want to get this done, or they just are super passionate, or whatever. It's a grey area, but let's not get on too much, because we could go down that rabbit hole.
We could talk about it forever anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there's institutional,
now-
there's like societal norms that are very different in different places. So
Okay. So, I mean, we covered the big news topics, and we surprisingly went on a lot of tangents. So what we're going to do now is, Gene, we are going to play, we have a little game show that we play. And we had one called Name a Game, and we've adjusted it slightly, and we have one called What Year, My Dear? Now, we don't have an animation for it yet, do we, Jesse?
no, I try not to
No, we do not.
pressure pre-drag too much. So
I'll ask him. And what we do is Jesse is going to. Are we going to do that? Are we going to bother with the buzzing codes, or are we just
I
going
don't
to
know.
write our
This
answers
probably doesn't
down?
work best with a buzzer. So it's pretty much. I think you both should just message me your guess, or if you have a pen and paper, you can write it down and then show it. It's pretty much just going to be I ask you, or I say the name and platform of a game, and you guess the year it was released. And it can be any platform, any game. I obviously try and go for things that people might know. I'm not going to say, like, when did Techno Cop come out on the Genesis, because no one's going to know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, and we play for our patrons. You and I, Gene, are playing for patrons of ours, and whichever of us wins, we act as champions for our patrons. Whoever wins gets a free game from Jesse. They can get in touch with Jesse and get a free game, choice of free game off him.
Do I log into his Buzzin site then? Is that what?
Yeah, we won't worry about it, will we?
We'll pass it this time.
Okay.
So if you are
I mean,
on,
I can just
go-
I can just write it down on my calculator here. So.
Yeah, that's right. We'll just go, old school. That's it.
Yep.
So I am playing for Sid Safe this week, and Gene will be playing for Nabta. So good luck to our patrons. Jesse, what is the theme for this week?
I haven't done themes yet because I'm just kind of jumping around. The theme is video games that have been released throughout history.
Okay. Just anything then.
Yeah, so this one, it's going to be pretty much anything. I went for things you should know. I didn't try to go like and trick you or anything. Nothing super hard. So
are we going to score it where if we both get it wrong, whoever gets closest wins?
Yeah.
Without going over?
Yeah, closest.
Okay.
I don't even know if without going over matters so much. Whoever's closer. If you both get it right, you both get a point. If neither of you get it right, whoever's closer. If you're both the same distance, no point. Like if it's a tie, maybe no points on ties.
But that's why you do it, so don't go over. So whoever's closest without going over.
Okay, we'll do the prices right.
I'm going old school.
This is only our second week doing it, so we're still refining.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Number
Let's get into
one.
it. First game.
In what year did System Shock 2 release for the PC?
Oh, shit.
Big games, but not always the most obvious ones.
Okay, I've written down my answer.
All right, I got my guess.
All right.
All right.
Show them to the video.
1994.
I got 2001.
The correct answer is 1999. So that's a point for Gene.
Oh,
wait,
shit.
but
You did
I
not
think
go over.
you didn't go over.
I didn't go over.
I went over.
Shit. I was like, no, but Nick is way closer.
He is way closer, but
I went over.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things like
Damn it.
PC games can be tough because we're so used to a lot of ports and stuff
I know.
now being closer.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's very different back then.
Yeah, PC is tough
Okay.
because you have to be locked into the PC mode there.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn it.
Gene is up 1-0. Number 2 is an Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 game, Batman Arkham City. Original release.
Arkham City.
Yep,
I
Arkham
think I'm
City.
confident on this one. I'm confident on this one. I've written it down.
Okay, I got a guess. Yeah.
All right. Show us your guesses, gentlemen.
2009. Oh,
2010.
he's got 10.
Yeah.
Gene
Why
is
is it-
correct. At 2010 being one
what?
closer, it is 2011.
Oh,
Fuck.
yeah.
Wow, 2-0, Gene. All right.
Fuck.
A commanding lead to begin, but the next one is a Game Boy game.
I would like to get one right instead of getting them close. So.
It feels good to nail it. This
Yeah,
next one's going to
yeah.
be real tough. This is a Game Boy, original Game Boy game. I threw one in.
Jesus.
It is
This is gonna be.
Metroid 2, Return of Samus.
Wow.
Oh, fucking hell. Really? Where's Benotti or Grub? They'd know this.
Yeah. No.
They'd probably be able to pull
This
it
is-
out off screen like, oh, here's my copy.
Yeah. This is a tough
Yeah,
one.
probably. Holy crap! What would
I
this be?
remember when
Metroid 2?
I remember when it came out and when I played it. I was yeah.
Jesus, what would this be? It wouldn't be 80s. I don't think Metroid 2 would be 80s. Metroid 1 obviously is.
Jones,
gonna
very
go
close. He said
with-
10,000 BC.
Who said that?
Jones in chat.
Oh, I think he said John. I'm like, is he in the chat? All right, I've written mine down.
All right, you ready, Gene?
Yep.
All right.
I've got
Gene's-
92.
So what the guesses are? Gene's 90,
There it is,
89,
92.
and Nick is 92. Nick was 1 year off too high. Gene wins again. It was 1991.
Fuck. I swear it was in the 80s though. Yeah. Okay.
You can always yell at Wikipedia if you want, because I pulled these off there, and it actually is very hard to get the exact release, because games used to release so fractured across platforms. Finding the first one, that's why I'm just going by the freaking platform it was on that I'm looking at right now.
Mhm.
You go near
Wow,
my
1991. I was 10 years old when I played that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I knew it was 90s. I didn't think it was 80s.
It's
Yeah.
always weird going back and looking at it and being like, holy shit, it was that year. Okay. All right.
Crazy.
The next one is another Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 title. It is Bully Scholarship Edition.
Scholarship edition.
Scholarship edition.
So 360
so not
and
the
PlayStation
original.
3, not Xbox and PS2.
Ooh,
It's a
shit.
massive guess. These are all wild guesses. I think the Arkham City one was the one to an actual
I
like.
didn't know what the
06
biggest
was the
games this
original.
time. Yeah.
06 was the original, wasn't it? I think with Bully, or was 06 the scholarship edition? Oh shit! No, Bully was a PS2 game.
Really was a PS.
Maybe I just gave the
Yep, it was
answer.
PS2 and Xbox, but this was 360 and PS3.
Hmm.
Maybe I just gave the answer.
Are you ready, Nick?
All right, I wrote it down.
Yeah, I have a stupid, crazy guess. So
Gentlemen, show your guesses. 2012 and 2006. The winner is Nick
I have.
at 2008.
Hey.
We still haven't had a nail, but he was closer without going
and
over.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
was
no,
gonna say
I
08.
went way over, but
yeah.
that was my bad. That was my bad.
I was gonna say 08 as well, but I thought that might be a touch late because it was like an
Gene's in the
early
lead. 3-1.
mid PS2.
The next one is an Xbox One and PlayStation 4 game. This game is known as one word, Strider.
Oh, yeah, I know this one.
A really
this
good
one.
game
I know this one. Strider's fantastic.
from a sadly essentially shut down dev.
Yeah.
Oh wait, have I got the year right on this one? Or am I getting confused with Killer Instinct?
Don't know. Are you
Oh, shit.
gentlemen ready?
I got my guess.
Show them.
Wait, no.
Show us what you got. Nick with
I got the
2000,
same year.
both 2013. You were in a tie of being wrong. It was 2014. No points.
I just changed it from 2014. I had it right in 2014.
I was like, shit, did I get mixed up with Killer Instinct? Because Double Helix made Killer Instinct as well.
I was like, maybe it was the year after launch, but I was like, no, maybe it's launch year.
Yeah.
All right. The next one. The worst one. I don't know why I chose this other than I didn't know it existed. This is a Nintendo DS and PSP game. It is
Oh my god. It's over.
Napoleon Dynamite, the game.
Wow.
What?
No, don't even.
PSP
I was
and
just
DS.
shocked at the date because I
Napoleon-
was like, wow, it was that time? I forgot how old that movie is.
PSP. It can't be 90s. I refuse to believe that's 90s. And the PSP wasn't out in the
Well,
90s.
it's Napoleon Dynamite, so when did the movie come out? It would not have been until after the movie.
That's right. I don't remember.
Who knows when the movie came out? Because that movie looked like it was shot in the fucking 80s. So.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Take a guess and
The
see.
whole point of that movie is that it looks like it was shot at any weird moment in time in history.
Mhm.
Okay,
I have my
I got my answer.
Show me,
yes.
gentlemen. Show me what we got. 2005 from Gene and Nick's 2003 from Nick. Gene is the winner. It was 2007. Way to go, Gene. A 4-1
Yeah, it was,
commanding lead.
It's pretty early.
Does Gene win at 5? Is it 5 Gene
We'll just-
wins it?
Whoever has, once it's over half, I don't even know how many I made, so I forget. We'll see.
I thought we said first to
1,000
5.
Vs.
No, it's
Or
first
best
to
of
8 because I
five,
had so
whatever.
many of them. So I've got.
Man,
So
we
that
don't have
was-
forever. We've still got to do community questions.
Okay. If Gene gets to 6, he'll win. So it's commanding lead. The next one is an original PlayStation game. The name of this game is. It was brought up earlier in the show. It's Medal of Honor for the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I got my answer, I guess.
Do I
Alright.
go? Hold on. I'm gonna. Oh, I changed my number. You'll see how I wrote my number. I just changed it at the last second. Okay.
Gene with 2000. Nick with Was that 90?
98.
98.
Yeah,
Nick
you
is
can
correct.
see it was
correct.
about to be a
Gene,
9.
You are both one off. It was 99. But
It was
Nick
99.
is lower.
And I was like, you could see
Wow.
my 8. My 8 started as a 9. I'm like, oh, was it 99 or 98?
99. Wow. I got
1999.
my own advantage against me now this time.
All right, the next one is an arcade game. An old-ass arcade game.
Ooh,
That
here we
arcade
go.
game
Here we
being
go.
Double Dragon.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Going
Okay,
all through
buddy.
history.
Yeah.
What year did Double Dragon release?
1980. Shit.
You know what?
1890 is a guess in the chat.
Pretty much. Might as well be.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. Okay, I got my
I
answer.
got mine.
I
Gentlemen,
changed
show me
my
what you
last
got.
number at the last second.
Gene with 1985
86.
and Nick with 1986. Nick is closer. It was 1987.
I had
I
86.
knew it. I knew it was
I had
87.
86
I was gonna put
I had
87.
86
I'm like,
earlier, yeah.
do I do 87?
Oh man, don't call it a
Like,
comeback.
oh.
And it's
Yeah,
getting
Nick's
close.
come back. Yeah.
All right. The next one is originally an Xbox One and PlayStation 4 release known as Dying Light.
Oh.
I don't even know this game at all, so.
It's the
This is a-
it's Techland, their follow-up to Dead Island.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't follow this game at all,
Mm.
so this is.
Yeah.
Okay at launch. The crazy best post-launch support I've ever seen for a game. of its
Apparently,
size.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like a new they've put like
Dying Light.
100 patches into it with a ton of content. Good game.
Oh, that's the Dying Light now, the one that has all the
Mhm.
crossovers with all the horror games.
No, that's Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, yeah.
Oh, Dead by Daylight. Oh,
Dying
sorry,
Light,
Dying
Techland,
Light.
follow-up their follow-up after Dead Island.
Yeah, the zombie, All
All right, I've got mine.
cool game.
Okay. This
I
kitty
think this
cat's
is
losing
way
his
off, though.
Ding dang dong mind. This is a cutie pie.
All right, you got yours, G?
Gentlemen. Gene
Gene.
with 2016. Nick with
09.
09. Nick only wins because Gene is 1 year too late. It was 2015, and we are tied at 4.
Whoa.
Really?
Gene, you've been so close. You're always just one above.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Wow.
Nick changed the rules and made it going over. He screwed you.
Yeah.
That's how it is on that radio show that I stole it from. That's
yeah,
the
this,
rules.
This rule was working for me, and now it's my
This one's a little.
The Achilles heel,
downfall.
you could say.
I want to double check this one because I forgot this originally came out on a different platform. I want to do that one instead.
How about we do next one wins?
Are we tied up?
It's 4 all.
Yeah, it's
Let's
4
just do
all,
next
so
one
next
wins.
one wins.
Wow.
This
okay,
one
yeah,
is
Next one wins.
This is it.
for the original Xbox. The game is Jade Empire.
Oh, I've still got my copy of Jade Empire on disc.
Yeah.
And I've got the digital version.
With the whole banana, the whole shebang banga.
Jade Empire. Shit. I bought the bloody game.
Wild guess. I have one. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think I'm right. But
Okay.
All right, Nick.
All right, I got mine.
Okay, show me
All
what
right,
you
I
got.
got
2004 from Gene.
2003.
Gene is the winner as it was 2005.
Fuck.
oh,
Fuck.
Held him off at the end.
Congratulations.
that was tough. That was tough.
The other game shows way
get-
harder.
You didn't get a single one right, even too. That's
I know,
the rough thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all tough games, though. Yeah, you know, I was worried for like I was worried that it would be a game that I really loved, and then I don't know the fucking
You wouldn't know the year?
Legacy of Kain.
The
Soul
other
Reaver.
version
I
of
don't-
the
which I
game
also don't know
shows-
I don't know the year for Soul Reaver that came out, but you know I love that game. So
I did
Oh,
that
yeah.
one last week. I
I
think.
had that
What
on
was it?
Dreamcast.
90 something. It was like late 90s, I think. For
It was
one.
99. It would have been 99 or
It would've been
2001
99
or something.
Yeah,
And
it
then
would've
the
been right at
second
the
one
end.
was 2001 because games came out a lot faster.
Oh,
back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
All right,
Yes,
so
they
we got
did.
some community
Much
questions
quicker
to get through
turnover.
quick because We
We
don't wanna
do.
hold you up too
So,
long.
yeah, before we do, we just want to do a quick shout out to our patrons who make all of this possible, because I know John doesn't like our patrons, but
Hates
Jesse
them.
and I do.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jesse and I really appreciate them and everything they do for us and all the support, especially all the executive producers and like the grand benefactor Torn Raptor, who's just ridiculous.
$150 a month pledge. He's a maniac.
Amazing.
Shout out to Torn Raptor. Yeah.
Crazy. But I mean, that's Australian dollars, so it's like $15 in real dollars. So, yep. So one of thanks to all our patrons. They get plenty of perks as well. We do a movie podcast. Hey, we should get Gene on the movie podcast with me and John once. Gene seems to like talking about the movies and the TV shows.
Depending on movie.
Ooh, we could have our first guest on Sick and Nick's Flicks. Have Gene on. So we do that show, which is exclusive for patrons, and we do a few other things. They get merch and all that sort of stuff. But one of the best perks of being a patron is that you get into a super secret club section of the forum, and you get to ask us questions for the podcast, which we will read live on the show. Now I'm going to target the ones that
Omen
are for
is the
Gene,
first one for Gene.
for when Gene needs to dip.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long
First
is the show
question.
usually?
With Nick, it can be incredibly long.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Between 2.5 to 5 hours, depending on how much
sure.
you feel like talking.
ask.
Sure. I mean,
Hey,
over
Gene
last
was on the Iron Lords. Gene was on the Iron Lords once.
Iron
and
Lords,
they were
yeah, they last forever. And over at Last Day Media, we have like 4-hour podcasts too. So like,
That's right.
I'm used
So
to
we're
the
not
grind.
too bad. We're
Yeah.
not too bad.
No. It's a similar grind set for sure.
Okay. Omen. Glad to see Gene Park here. I found his talks on how he got into the industry to be very cool and wholesome. Anyway, I think you all could agree that sometimes it feels like certain story beats can be over-reported by tons of news outlets. But what area of the video game industry do you think is vastly underreported and underrepresented by the press? Personally, I find most MMOs don't get nearly enough coverage for how popular they are. This is a good question for Gene, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean mobile games too. MMOs is a huge thing. That's what Fanbyte, that one site that's owned by Tencent, tried to do. They had their own FF14 reporter, and I thought that was really smart. But I don't know if an organization like that could support something so niche and specific as a reporter for Final Fantasy 14 or a reporter for Warframe and stuff like that. You know, that would be the ideal wonderful news organization, but even IGN, a place as big as IGN, doesn't even have that. You know, so it's tough. I think you really need to focus in on your individual creators, and that's the best way to be able to find that kind of coverage.
The other issue is everything is so SEO driven and so
guide driven. You
And
can
I
do
guess
guide websites
guides-
on those, but news is a lot harder to pull off.
Yeah, it's tough. And especially that and MMO for news, that's or news for MMO, that's crazy. Like, who has time to like go to every MMO and like really understand the culture and nuances for every game? You know, it really needs to be for that one game. You know, like even for Fortnite, I think you would need like one reporter, or maybe like Fortnite and like a few other games, maybe. You know. But but an MMO is tough. Like even me having played Final Fantasy 14, like I don't know if I could cover that regularly. I would go insane.
Yeah.
I would never want to be an MMO. I would never want to be an MMO reporter or a reporter that's like that level of micro.
Yeah.
I think the most you can do is like if you're someone like Jez who loves World of Warcraft, and then when WoW news comes up, he's in a place where he can talk about it. But
Paul Tassi with Destiny, right?
Mhm.
Paul Tassi with Destiny. You know, Paul is the go-to source for a lot of Destiny folks. You know, so yeah, people like that. You know,
they're into it anyways, and so
Yeah.
they can talk about it without having to add it on top of their workload.
exactly. And then like even in the VR space, you know, like no one's fucking talking about the PSVR, but then there are people talking about PSVR and what's on there. You just need to follow that. You know, the disappointing thing is that there's not a variety of people kind of covering this type of content. You know, so if you really love Destiny 2 but you really fucking hate Paul Tassi, you know, tough shit. You know.
We've had Paul on. We've had Paul on
Yeah,
before.
Paul's great. I love Paul. Don't get me wrong. But if you somehow hate Paul Tassi, but you really, really don't love Destiny,
You're
2
in
news,
trouble.
You're kind of tough shit, man.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, good old Collingwood. Hello, Nick and Jesse, and a big welcome to Gene Park. My question is for Gene, and it is non-gaming related. How you doing? For those who are not aware, Mr. Park was diagnosed with colon cancer, but recently completed chemotherapy treatment and surgery to remove the cancer, and it appears to be a success. Also, what's your cat's name?
Yeah, my cat's name is Jack, and yeah, just glad to be to be done with all of that, and hopefully done with it forever. You know, it's been tough to trying to do work and get distracted by getting sick. You know,
Good on you, man. Like seriously,
I would really want to do like more like stuff that's like closer to what you guys do, something more creator led. You know, we were talking about Paul. I really admire what Paul does with his uploads on YouTube and everything like that. So, you know, once I get to a good space where I feel like I can do that stuff regularly, I will. You know, but yeah, good to be here.
It's really good, man. Like, fuck, I can only imagine, man. Seriously, like more power to you.
Yeah, I can't believe I went through it too. That's one thing, you know.
There is a bit of a follow-up from good old Collingwood, and it's something we tend to ask our new guests. Are you a fan of the 1990s situation comedy known as Friends?
Oh, the Friends? The Friends show?
Do you like Friends? Yeah.
I never really got into them. I liked it, but, you know, I was definitely more of a Seinfeld fella, you know?
A man of culture.
I definitely thought. Yeah, that's... Yeah, if you ask me where I fall on the Friends or Seinfeld track, it was definitely the Seinfeld track for sure.
Seinfeld. I mean, I like Seinfeld fine, but man,
that's exactly where I am with Friends. I like Friends fine. People who like Friends, that's cool too. I have nothing against Friends. I think they're cool. I was very sad when
it's not that Twitter meme. Hey, I like Friends. What, you hate Seinfeld? No,
yeah,
man, that's a totally different thing.
I was very sad when Matthew Perry died. You know.
Oh God, that was
terrible. You know, because Friends has always been around. So
I know.
Even if I didn't love Friends, like the fact that it was always in the background, like was always very comforting, and it was a good show. I couldn't relate to it. It was really tough for me to relate to it.
Yeah, that's right.
It is funny going back to those old shows, and you know, any apartment or anything they have like that in New York now would be like $5 million.
Exactly. They really made me think that living in New York City or like living in the East Coast or anything like that would be way different. My apartment is so much smaller than what they have, and my job is much better than what they have. It's insane.
Okay, like now, Gene. Whenever, if you really need to go, just let us know, and you can StreamYard. Just let you dip, man. We'll work through the rest of these.
I think Assassin Entertainment
see how we go.
mentions him in the question, so if we want to see,
yeah. Executive producer, Assassin Entertainment.
Mm.
Hello to the Prideful Prince, the Peacekeeper, and Gene. I don't know Gene well enough for a nickname. Sorry, Gene. I want to try and bring some positivity to our beloved community and just talk about what we may see in June. I truly do hope we see games like Fable, Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3, good-looking updates on third-party games like Hollow Knight, Silksong, Stalker 2, and Metaphor Rifantasio. And most importantly, just games to be excited about. My question to you guys is threefold. Which game do you know will be there? You believe 100% is there. Which game do you wish to be there? And which game do you think is going to skip out? No cheating and saying a live service like Sea of Thieves. Thank you and keep up the good work. P.S. Gene, congratulations for being cancer-free. May you live a long life so you can keep putting those dumb triple nipple chinchillas on Twitter in their place. Bruv. What?
No,
what's those dumb triple nipple chinchillas?
Probably about the virgins that are mad that I had sex before. Which I understand. When I was a virgin, when I was a small child, I was very mad that I wasn't having sex, and then I had it, and it's okay. You know?
It's pretty fun.
What's it like?
And then life goes on, you know. What are we looking forward to? Oh, this is a great opportunity for me to sign off. But before I sign off, I can talk about how much I love Fable. I love the Fable series. I can't wait for the Fable series to come. I'm hoping that they show a little bit more especially to kind of like so we can have more images. Like speaking of like the virgins, like everyone keeps comparing like Starfield to like that poor woman in Fable or whatever. And it's like I would love like more images of Fable to like look at.
Also, like the Fable art style was really about being like, it's like they weren't good looking model characters.
They were pretty ugly
Fable.
fucking people.
Yeah. They were caricatures of like Britain of themselves,
Yeah.
essentially. Like,
yeah, they were making fun of. They were basically making fun of how silly and ugly British people can look like. You know,
yeah, like when John's on the show.
Like that's what it is. It was a very Monty Python thing. You don't look at Monty Python and then look at look at all these hot people on Monty Python. You know, you don't. That's not what this is for. Fable is a British comedy. You know, so these people are going to look a little goofy. But I loved the shit out of Fable. I play tested the hell out of Fable 1. My favorite thing to do in Fable 1 was making every single person in the village fall in love with me. You know, clapping and farting in their faces and giving them gifts and shit like that. Making them all fall in love with me. And then I would enter the Fight Club minigame. Do you remember those?
No.
There's little mini games where you can box another character, right? Just for money, right?
Oh wow.
But then if you have every single person in the village fall in love with you, they're all going to beat the shit out of your opponent because they're attacking you and then they're going to attack them. So I loved making the entire city fall in love with me and then get into these fights and then see them jump this one dude. And then I win. You know? It was what other video game? And I did this way back when Fable came out. When Fable came out like 2002 to 2003, and that's an awesome gaming experience. You know.
Holy shit! I didn't even know you could do that. I just
it was. I definitely like pushed the boundaries of what you can do in Fable. I loved it so much. And the Fable 2 came out. That was amazing. I even love Fable 3, even though it has like the worst menu system. Even though its morality and king system was stupid. Did you guys play Fable 2 or 3 or 1? Or
I played them all. I haven't played them since launch, so I vaguely remember most of them.
I've actually played them because they're great on backwards compatible. I played them on Xbox. I played all of them to completion, all 3 of them.
Jesus.
All 3 of them like they're new games, and I had so much fun. They're still great games. So I have no idea what Fable 4 could look like. I'm a little worried because all 3 games are very, very different. You know, in terms of like how they play and the rule sets and everything. So I'm like, which version of Fable are you really going to go for? Hoping it's Fable 2. You know, Fable 2 was the best one. You know,
that's what everyone seems to say.
It definitely is the best one. It has the best story. It has the least amount of problems. 3 had the most like morality issues. 2 definitely was the one that I think was the most solid and really, really good story with the most interesting characters.
I think the only thing we can be almost certain on with the new Fable, given the developer, is that it's probably going to look visually incredible.
Amazing.
Well, they said last year's was gameplay. Like that scene where she's throwing the shit, like that was gameplay on a Series X.
That's incredible. I'm wondering what the structure is going to be. Is it going to be open world like Witcher 3, or is it going to be like Fable, where each map was like their own zone, and then you would like have a loading screen? But then like those zones were like very, very detailed with like highly interactive like AI characters and everything. I'm a little hoping that they don't go straight open world and they really have all these really, really interesting like zones with characters that you can that have their own time routines and personalities and families and everything and stories. I'm really, really hoping for a Fable that does that versus one that is just trying to be the Witcher but goofy, you know?
Yeah.
Because everyone is trying to be the fucking Witcher, you know?
Yeah. So what game do we think's gonna skip?
Fable.
State of Decay 3.
Fable?
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see Fable right away though, you know. I feel like
I reckon I think Everwild will be the one that skips.
Oh, Everwild for sure. Yeah, because we don't know anything. Well,
nothing.
But there's nothing there though. Yeah.
They've talked on social media saying that they're super happy and things are going great, and they built this whole big eco-friendly wood building and
barn.
Yeah.
Hellblade 2 will be out by then, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should be in reviewer. You would think it would be in reviewers' hands in a week or so. Maybe.
Yeah, it should be. It should be coming soon. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
So the game that we think we believe will be 100% there is surely Indiana Jones.
India, yeah.
Anything this
Indy's
year,
like
I think, will
a
be there in
lock.
some way. Yeah.
Yeah, Indy looked very, very complete.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It looked very, very finished.
it looks fun.
I'm pretty excited. It looks like it's gonna be it's gonna be a game that it's gonna feel really good.
Mhm.
You know, I can already tell that whip and drag, that snatch into the punch combo is gonna feel really good.
Yeah.
That's just something we're all gonna be doing over and over again. So
The game I wish to be there is Gears Collection.
Gears, please,
Please, just put me out of my misery and give me Gears Collection there, please.
Oh god, Gears on Steam Deck will be so good and it'll run so well. It'll run perfectly. It'll run beautifully.
How it's gonna look on Unreal Engine 5.
Oh
boy.
man, but yeah. Just transfer all that to 5 or even 4, even man. Like because even the Gears of War Ultimate, the release looked really good.
It did look nice.
And yeah, Unreal 4 is Gears of War 4, and that still looks amazing. And Gears 5, So,
Yeah, but you got to remember though, Coalition are just like masters of Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
They're
they're no one else that knows Unreal better than they do. So
they almost know it better than Epic.
Yeah. If Gears 6 fucking comes out and they come out with the fucking our creative vision is for 30 FPS, I'm like, bullshit. What the fuck is
I'll
going on
lose
there?
my shit.
Yeah,
For a
I'll lose
shooter,
my
I don't
shit.
think they would do that.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they do that because the Coalition is the last team I expect to ever do that. Like it's like no, we solved the problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Anyways, I should
Gene,
probably head out. But...
yeah, I was about to say if you've got to go, no worries, man. Thanks so much for making the time. I apologize profusely.
Yeah, no, let's watch a movie. What kind of movies you guys watch?
Nick watches bad ones. We make him watch good ones. So we'll get something good.
Wait, what's the bad one?
I fell asleep during June 2.
Oh, shit.
He likes really bad like 90s and 2000s like dark
I'm
comedies.
actually really, really interested in Nick in testing Nick's like lack of story because that's fascinating. I have to admire that because I like story. I like story, but I rarely meet people because every single person you meet, they're always like, oh, it's the story isn't that good or blah blah blah. I'm just saying, fuck the story though. What about the gameplay?
Thank you.
I like a good story. I can still pay attention to a good
Yes,
story.
it can help.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gameplay-
Like I love.
Yeah.
It can absolutely help a really good gameplay experience for sure. Right?
Yes, thank you. Correct. Like that's why I love BioShock. BioShock's
Okay.
He wants in-gameplay
BioShock was
storytelling
amazing.
more than just watching a story.
yes.
Watching a storytelling.
Halo has it.
I kind of prefer that more too.
Yeah.
I would admire a game more if they tell the story through mechanics or interaction or gameplay
That's
more
right.
than me just being told it through dialogue and text and
Yeah.
everything.
Like if Metal Gear Solid
And
4
through
let you actually
movies.
play it for half the time instead of watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like there are two different ways of the Kojima school that you can go through because Kojima is pretty interactive in and of itself, but then he
Yes.
goes so far into the non-interactive space too, right? And like it's like people are able to learn two different things from Kojima, and that's where the industry's at right now. Anyways, I gotta go.
All right.
All right,
Yes.
guys.
Thanks heaps for making the time, mate.
Time.
It was great
All right,
talking to you.
Here, guys.
See ya.
Ciao.
All right.
That was good.
Boom. And here we are.
Gene was good.
I made sure to set this up earlier.
Yeah. Gene was good.
No, Gene was great.
I liked it.
What a nice man. Unlike
Yeah.
John, who hates our patrons.
Yes.
Fucking guy.
I like I said, I feel bad that I bothered Gene so much.
No, you always
I was
feel
like-
bad with other people.
I
You
was
don't-
on
don't
him.
believe you.
I was on him. I was like, hey man, but like you don't know when you're pissing someone off or annoying them.
Oh, I
or-
feel that way with pre-drag
Yeah.
when I'm constantly asking him for stuff for the website. Because I do a lot of different things for the website that end up requiring a lot of different art. And I don't want to bother him because, again, it's a part-time thing for him on the side as he's doing a bunch of real work. So, yeah. Nope, I
Yeah.
got to resize our background. Oh, wait.
Why?
Never mind. It's fucking enormous for some
Okay.
reason. Whatever.
All right, now more questions. LazarWolf. Now that Jez has killed Xbox, after John tried and failed, what's your favorite all-time Xbox exclusive? What's wrong, Jesse? Why have you got that face?
I've got to resize the question thing. It just was not working. Should work now.
All right. Okay.
There we go.
Yes. Did you see? I like that Jez has now learned the lesson about Discord that I learned the hard way. That assholes will fucking take screenshots and say shit publicly that you say in your Discord, mate. That's why my Discord never grew. That's why it just stayed small and insular, because so much shit used to come out of my Discord. Like, I can imagine what Jez was doing. He was just having a chat, just probably speculating this, that, the other, and then someone's gone on to and be like, oh, Jez is saying this, that, and the other.
Yep.
Man,
that is
that
exactly
fucking
what happened,
sucks.
and then people lost their goddamn minds on him.
Yeah. And now Jez
Even
is
on
an
our
agent
forum,
of
and
chaos.
people are like calling him shitheads and stuff, and I'm like, no, stop. We like him. He's a friend. Please don't. And Jez is like, oh, what the hell are you guys saying about me on there? Because people were screenshotting us. I'm like, again, if you have an issue with a point someone makes, please criticize the point. Do not criticize the person. Yeah.
Attack the point, not the man.
Yeah.
Like, as we say in footy terms, play the ball, not the man. Like, just, you know, well, we copped the same thing. We copped the same thing after Starfield. We copped the same thing after, like, it's like, come on, man. Like, there's a point, there has to be a point where you've known us long enough to know. Like, Jez isn't some new kid on the block. He's been around a while. Like, you should understand that Jez isn't like, oh, I'm going to try to take down Xbox from the inside. Like, come on, man. Like, we're not doing that. That's my job. Now, what's your favorite all-time Xbox exclusive? Halo. Halo CE.
Yeah, man, that wouldn't be it for me.
Halo CE.
Well, I mean, what is ever going to be an exclusive ever again? But I would have to go
that's right. Nothing's
with...
exclusive anymore.
I'll skip these ads for chat because I like it, chat. I think my favorite... Goddamn. I would have said, like, the original Mass Effect, but it's not anymore. KOTOR is definitely not anymore. It's everywhere.
That's right.
For things that still are only playable on console on an Xbox, I would probably go with Starfield.
But won't be Halo once Master Chief Collection comes out on Switch and PS5. Oh!
That's going to get flipped and slothed now. Well, I don't know if he sloths anymore.
No, Switch 2. Switch probably can't run it.
Yeah.
What were you saying about sloth?
Because he started up that new GPN, VPN, Garrett Atkins thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if it'll be called Slothed anymore. It'll be
not
Sloth
Slothed anymore.
I want to say his name wrong. I feel bad. He says his name is his Twitter now.
You get Allened.
Yeah.
Instead of slothed, you get Allened.
Allen.
You get Allened. Okay. DeoGame.
Oh, boy.
Hi, everyone. Real talk. I asked the same of Jez and Rand last week. For many, Xbox has done the one thing you cannot do. The great betrayal. The prophesized crossing of the Rubicon. The superlative hyperbolic description of an on-the-surface neutral move. They ported games. I've certainly not hidden that I think this is a short-sighted, myopic, trust-eroding, and in some ways brand-killing move. I agree. But then again, I frankly said similar about PC Day and Date a while back and was, I'd argue, proven wrong there. Which brings me to my question. Is this a case where even in the event of, say, all games Day and Date without any sort of tit-for-tat reciprocity?
I think so.
Time will heal all wounds and the fan base schism will repair, or is this basically it for the Xbox fandom as we know this? Is there a way Xbox can fix their fractured fan base, or will it remain divided on this topic forever, like Star Wars, post-prequels, Last Jedi, and Last of Us Part 2 before it? Look, when they announced PC Day and Date, we weren't doing the podcast at the time, but those of you who know me would probably know what my thoughts would have been, and it's the same as when we were discussing PlayStation games Day and Date. There isn't this massive group of people that are just looking to abandon their console in favor of an expensive PC. I've said that with PS5 games on PC, and I said the same thing with Xbox games. Like, If anything, it would probably lead to some people having both. Like, I considered a gaming PC and bought an Alienware laptop to have alongside my Xbox, to have something on the go, or, you know, to have better versions if I want it. So, I don't know. The PC thing I never thought was the huge deal some people made it out to be. You guys know my thoughts on console. I still think they shouldn't be doing it. I don't know. Again, Jez said the same thing. All people are concerned about is the consoles going away. That it's always going to be that forever and ever. That will be people's concern. If there was a way for them to guarantee that doesn't happen, got no issue with it. Got no issue with it whatsoever. If people like Sea of Thieves is on PS5 right now, and my life has not been affected one iota. I don't care. Like
if the PlayStation style of things was working really well, I could see people being upset for a reason. But we know, and we're going to find out in a week, like all their guidances for everything are really bad. Like PlayStation's guidance for their fiscal quarter coming up was all down again. Their sales in the US were all down again for hardware. Like, it's just that old system isn't working, which is why Jim Ryan's gone. A new guy's in who has immediately started talking about being more places. Like the old system doesn't work.
That's right.
But how will Xbox go into the new system? It's a very valid thing to question and be curious about. It's a huge change. I don't think that, they didn't give buying ABK a chance when it wasn't going to do anything in the long run. It wasn't going to do what people would think it could do in the long run, essentially. Like, they don't want to yoink PlayStation owners only. They get that, fine. They're happy. They sell more consoles, cool, they're happy, but they're not going to lose money doing it. No one can get costs down like they used to. And so they are just, what can we do to actually grow when our industry is not growing at all? And so they've buying a huge developer. People like, they only did like the IGN headline where it's deceptive. They only grew because they bought some. It's like, yeah, that's the only way to grow right now. No one's actually growing. Like, yes, they grew because they bought someone, because that's the only way you can do it at the moment. Like, it's just,
that's why even like Sony's opening up. That's why, everyone's like, I saw a bunch of podcasts talk about the Helldivers 2 thing, and like a lot of stupid reactions on Twitter. It's like, he said it's coming to Xbox. I never said it's coming to Xbox. Like, the news story there shouldn't be whether it actually comes or not. It probably won't. The news story there, if you want to make news out of it, is the fact that these discussions are even happening. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I only saw one podcast actually talk about it from that perspective, and that was Spawnwave. They do an Xbox podcast, which was Spawnwave and Nate the Hate. And they were discussing the discussions, not whether Helldivers 2 actually does come to Xbox. Like, Nate was like, he didn't talk about other discussions internal at Sony, discussions between Xbox and Sony, like what level are these? Like, they were talking about the discussions themselves, which is what I would have thought the news, quote unquote, would be from that. Like, the fact that it would even be a discussion at Sony.
Well, half the time the discussion starts, one person covers it, and whoever they cover it, that's the discussion. The first person who covers it, then somebody else covers what they covered. Like, so rarely do you see somebody actually go and watch the thing. They just report on the report. They don't report on the actual thing said. So if somebody just says, he's saying it's coming, then everyone's like, he said it's coming. They don't bother looking into it.
Yeah, it's not about right or wrong. He's like, even if it does come to Xbox one day, you won't see me going, I was right, because I never said it's coming to Xbox. Mm-hmm. All I talked about was that there's early discussions between them. Those discussions could go nowhere. I'm sure there's discussions between all sorts of publishers on all sorts of things. Like, surely the Insomniac and FTC leaks should have taught you all that so much goes on behind the scenes that we never hear about. Mm-hmm. Surely those two major leaks would have shown you that by now, that you wouldn't have this garbage attitude when you hear stuff like this. But
I do
Anyway.
think we've got two super chats now. Inktel Chapo and Assassin.
two.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Intel Chapo. Hey, gentlemen, these people getting upset at Jez for an opinion on gaming is borderline ridiculous. It's a hobby that's about having fun and playing. Yeah, I know.
Well, it's because people didn't
don't
take it as an
understand
opinion. They took it. So he called it informed speculation, but everyone took it as a report. But Jez has always said it's a report if I write it. Like if I'm confident in something, if I've seen it, if I believe it, it'll be on Windows Central. That is a report. Me talking in private on a Discord and someone screenshotting it or just reporting what I'm saying.
That's right.
Isn't
That's
a report.
That's right. Oh, I missed a comment from a member, Lucius Augustus, while Gene was on. Shit, sorry, man. I'm at a wedding right now, so I can't catch this live, but I wanted to say we love you, Gene. Keep being awesome. Fuck, I didn't even see that.
We were very nice. I think Gene knows we love him.
Yeah, fuck, I didn't even see that comment. Sorry, Lucius. Executive producer Ass4ssin Entertainment. My issue with this multiplat strategy is that Xbox is the only one doing it. If Sony and Nintendo were doing it too, then this wouldn't be a big deal. See, and this is the thing. I agree with that. Like, I'm a realist. I know Nintendo's never going to give up Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and trade for Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and all this sort of stuff. But why not allow Bayonetta 2 and 3? What about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? What about Stellar Blade? What these are third party deals. Why not let those go? So Nintendo says, well, we're not going to put Metroid on Xbox, but you know what? You want Bayonetta? You guys have a good relationship with Sega. We've had it for a few years now. It's run its course. Take Bayonetta 2 and 3 if you want. Or
the Switch
Marvel,
changed
you've got
things
Marvel
up
Ultimate
for them, where it's like they are the one that still sells the hardware that same way, and in that way, where prices never go down and their fans just take it. I do think, unless they have another Wii U situation, it'll never change with them because they don't need to. They've been way more successful than they were expecting to be. It did require them combining mobile and in-home, but for PlayStation, who are making more gross than ever, but their margins are really bad again, which they hadn't been. They had gotten to be really good margin-wise. They were keeping a lot of their money, and now they're not. So for them, they are looking, how can we change things, compared to Nintendo, who is much more, this shit's working. We can take our time with the next console. We're not even going to put it out this year. We'll wait till next year so that there's more games for it. Like, Sony's just not in that situation at all. Got a renewal from our grand benefactor. He goes to the top of the line.
Yeah, Troll Raptor. What happened to the Microsoft Nintendo partnership or the Mario Musu? Any updates on these? Oh, the Mario Musu, Torn Raptor. The Mario Musu I did not take seriously, and it wasn't even something I was ever going to say publicly. I told Jeff Grubb about it, and then he sort of struggled to keep it to himself. And then I kind of just said, well, this is what I don't believe. When I heard the Mario Musu, my first thought was that's bullshit. As to the Microsoft Nintendo partnership, I still, in hindsight, wished that was one of the rare times that I just lied and claimed something people would accept. So when GoldenEye came, when Banjo came to Smash, or when Minecraft came to Smash, or when the rare games came to Nintendo Switch, I wish I had just said that was the Microsoft Nintendo partnership.
If only you had said it
with this forever.
Post ABK announcement, then you could have just said, "Oh, it's the COD stuff," and lied.
Yeah, or the COD stuff. Like, there's so many things now that I could have claimed as the Microsoft Nintendo partnership and been
You're too
right
honest.
about. I am. The funny thing is, for someone who has a reputation as a massive liar, I'm actually way too honest for my own good, and wish I did lie more often, because it would get me out of trouble. That's the irony. If I lied more, it would get me out of trouble. That's the irony of it. The Microsoft Nintendo partnership that I now wish I had done nothing about. I'm not going to say what I was told it was, because it has not happened, and I'm guessing that whatever deal was signed back then has either been cancelled or plans changed or something. But I'm openly saying like that. I'm not claiming any of the 5 or 6 things I could have claimed it was. This thing I was told about has not happened. And it doesn't sound like it's going to anymore. From everything I'm seeing, it doesn't look like it's going to anymore. Whatever this, anyway. I have no idea what the fuck happened there. If it ever comes out publicly that this was a thing that was happening or whatever, I'll let you all know what it was. But it's not any of the things I could have claimed all this time and have not. And I fucking wish I had. Okay. Jesse, brother. So I've moved on to Fallout 76, and dang, that game plays so well now. You know what did not go well? IGN's Xbox Indie Show. A couple of games look kinda okay, but those hosts were cringier than those British bozos who used to host Xbox shows. I'm sure Jesse remembers them. My question this week is, do you guys really believe your own British bozo John when he blames his girlfriend for missing last week's show, then his friends for this week's, and his kids for a couple of weeks from now? Or is he just shamelessly scapegoating them all? Also, do y'all remember when the phrase out of pocket just meant something that cost you actual money? Because Zoomers say that shit now, meaning, I don't even know what. Out of hand, I think? Friggin' idiots. Yeah, I know.
I think out of pocket is like you're being an idiot or you're just being a dummy or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so for John, John was supposed to miss this week. Then his son pulled him away last week for his son's birthday. Yeah. And in 2 weeks, he's pulled away for his own birthday by his missus, who had messaged me a month ago about it. So
John has somehow inexplicably become less available and less present since going full-time. I don't know how that works, but
he's mostly available during your bedtime. That is when he's like on the clock and doing stuff. But then his night times are his own. I am more of a loser who doesn't have much of a social life by choice because I find people annoying, don't want to be around them that much.
Available.
So I'm just always here. I'm always pretty much I'm either here or I'm on the couch that's right next to me here using the Legion Go to play things I can't talk about.
You can ask Jesse and John. There is no one that replies to Discord DMs faster than me.
Your OCD is legendary.
Jesse and John, because I do take this seriously despite having the full-time job, I respond to Jesse and John's messages specifically almost to even while driving. And I shouldn't be doing
Wow.
That's how seriously I take it.
Bad Nick.
It's usually at like a red light, not while like actually driving, but like if I'm at a red light and I've seen Jesse or John message me, I'll quickly like, brrr. There's now cameras that apparently can see into our cars to see if we're on the phone.
That's dangerous.
Yes, I did watch some of that Xbox show, and yeah, there wasn't, even game-wise, there wasn't a ton there that really piqued my interest.
Those ones, so if you've got like your budget, those are the $5 to $20 games at the ID at Xbox. They try to showcase things that are smaller that would never be at a show otherwise. That's what they've always aimed at. They've got some really good stuff that's been there, but it's not going to be big name things. It's not going to be, well, this is an indie. It looks like a AA game. Like it's not going for that level. So, but
I don't know. I was just surprised. There wasn't much there that piqued my interest like there normally would be.
I think the III initiative took a lot of their steam because that also had a bunch of those types of games. But I do think one of the main issues with it was the really bad and pointless banter. It was very bad.
That was like very, I was like, ooh, this is super forced.
Yeah, the show
and I'm going to assume
off.
Okay.
It felt like they had their lunch eaten a little bit by the III initiative showcase, which was very good.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking specifically about all that banter and cringy. Like, that felt... Like, I've watched other IGN pre-shows and stuff like that, and I don't recall them
They're not
being that way. So I wonder...
No.
Yeah, so I wonder if that was like an Xbox thing, saying, hey, guys, why don't you... ham it up and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That was weird.
It would be a bad idea if it was. And generally, the Xbox team has been so good at their own shows lately that I can't imagine it was, because it was not. It was like those are normally fully produced by their partner. They used to be full on Twitch, 4-hour-long streams. Like, because that's what Twitch does. That's what Twitch's audience wants. They want long shows with interviews. Then IGN has done the last few, and they've just been more playlists. First 1 or 2 they had were fine. This was the hard-to-watch one.
Okay. It was difficult. And if there had been really great games, it would have made up for it. But, yeah. Anyway. Hytham G. Happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you. But here's my Star Wars related question down below. And there's 3 questions.
Oh, no.
Number 1. What is your favorite Star Wars movie, along with the movie that makes fun of Star Wars called Spaceballs? For my pick, I like episodes 1 to 7. That's 7 movies, mate. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Star Wars Clone Wars, a Dave Filoni movie, but your gents pick anyway? My favorite Star Wars movie.
None of them are very good. Last Jedi.
Yeah. Which one's The Last Jedi?
The one that's not a Star Wars movie.
I was about to say, I think that one might actually be my favorite one as well.
It's a good movie. It's not a good Star Wars movie because Star Wars in general as movies aren't good. They're very pulpy space. You know, he's going for the Flash Gordon thing at first, then he got up his own butt and tried to make, and then they became about making toys. And Dave Filoni's come in and done a lot of really good stuff. Like I'm interested in The Mandalorian and Grogu, though I am more into the Ahsoka side because I really liked Rebels and seeing that continue is cool. But yeah, I'm not a huge. The only by far the best thing Star Wars has ever done is Andor and then Ahsoka. Those are my 2 favorite live action things.
I love Mandalorian.
Andor is a 10. It is one of the best shows.
Of the 9 movies, the 9 Skywalker saga movies, I actually think episode 8 could be my favorite.
And the original script for 9 was good. And then they got
or
rid of most of
episode
it.
3. I like episode 3 as well. Even episode 1 has a charm about it. And just seeing where Vader started, there's a charm about it. I didn't mind it.
2 out of 10.
I also didn't mind them back when I saw them as like a 19, 20-year-old. I even didn't mind them back then. And then all of a sudden I discovered the internet and everyone like hated those movies. I was like, oh, why does everyone hate these movies?
Because at that point, the extended lore in the books was so cool and good in some ways and just fucking dumb as shit in others. There's like a bunch of clones of Luke Skywalker that had more U's in their name. So they were like, Luke. It was very silly.
Yeah. See, I see everyone in a few people in the road chat. Oh, Rogue One. I hated Rogue One. The only thing the only thing I liked about Rogue One was that robot that used to crack jokes, and even that was silly because it was a robot that had a personality.
Well, they gave it one after deprogramming it from the Empire.
Yeah, that was the only good part of Rogue One. It just, I don't know, it just felt like such a pointless story. Like, who cares about how they got the Death Star plans to the rebels? I don't care. Like, it's just...
Who cares about those stories?
They got them there. I don't know if that was a story that needed telling, but anyway, that's just my opinion. What is your favorite Star Wars series? My pick, I like Genndy. How do you pronounce his name? Genndy. The guy that did Dexter's Lab. No, I know Tartakovsky, but how do you pronounce his first name?
Oh, I always just said Genndy.
Genndy?
Genndy.
Yeah, Genndy. Where was I? Genndy Tartakovsky, Star Wars, along with Dave Filoni's Star Wars series. But what's your gent's favorite Star Wars series? Mandalorian.
Andor. Mandalorian Season 1, bad. Season 2, okay. Season 3, all right. But Andor Season 1, top tier prestige TV.
Love Mando.
Go watch Mando Season 1.
I've seen this.
Not good.
I watched all 3 seasons.
It's not very good.
I liked it. And I don't like Westerns either. That's the funny part about it. I actually don't like Westerns. What is your favorite Star Wars video game? This is tougher. My pick, I like Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, the old classic version, along with the Star Wars Republic Commando, Star Wars Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. But what is your favorite Star Wars video game, though? Mine's controversial.
Go ahead.
Force Awakens. Game is so good. No, wait.
That's a movie.
Hold on. No, sorry. Force Awakens.
Force Unleashed.
Oh my god. Yes, Force Unleashed. Force Awakens. Force Unleashed. I love Force Unleashed. So good. I actually like the story of it.
Oh, wow.
I like the story of it. How he was like Darth Vader's secret apprentice. I thought that was neat as shit. But he was like a double agent.
Powerful.
Oh, I thought that game was so cool. To me, that was Force Unleashed was basically, what are those newer ones now? Jedi Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Force
The Jedi
Unleashed
series.
was like, yes, the Force Unleashed was basically the predecessor to the Jedi Survivor games. Like, Force Unleashed was fucking cool, man. Like, that moment where you're full on Force pulling down that giant cruiser, whatever the hell it is. And man, that game was cool as shit. Like, any game that makes you feel way too fucking powerful, like, that is what a video game should be. That's why I play video games, to feel better than, because I'm weak as shit in real life.
Your legs will snap if you do too much.
I want to feel like fucking powerful as fuck. Like, that's why I love Shadow of Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get powered up in that game and you just take out a pack of like 20 orcs and just be like, I'm like, fuck, this game is cool, man. That's why I love Crackdown. You get fully powered in Crackdown and just be like, I'm going to pick up this fucking tanker and just throw it at a building. It's just like, this is what video games are meant to be. This shit.
Depending on what I'm going for, multiplayer, the current Battlefront 2, one of the best. It's just super fun. It's a great game. At launch, it was okay, but over time, they patched it a ton, and it is awesome. The new Battlefront 2 that is on Game Pass Ultimate. And for just a single-player experience, I would go with Jedi Survivor. I adored that game, but I am into the Souls-like, and I don't skip the cutscenes, and I quite enjoyed
they're great.
that game and where the story of it and everything went.
No. I love. Hold on, what was the first one
Jedi Fallen Order.
of those two? Fallen Order. I loved Fallen Order. Fallen Order. I almost said Fallen Order is my favorite Star Wars game, but God, Force Unleashed was so fucking fun. Like, it was
Fallen
just...
Order was very broken for a long time. It's still not in great shape.
Yeah, like, if you haven't played it, and it's backwards compatible, and it's also res enhanced. I don't think it's frame rate enhanced. I think it's res enhanced on Series X, Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed 2 might be frame rate enhanced. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember 100%.
I'm going to look
they're both
at
backwards
the
compatible, man.
optimized for Series X and S website.
Yeah, they're both backwards compatible, and they go on sale all the time. And before the store shuts down or whatever, buy them. They're fucking
Well, if they
sick
are back
games,
compat,
both
you can
of them.
still buy them. It's the ones that aren't
That's
back
right, on the
compat
news
that
store.
You can't go
On the news store, yeah. They're fucking sick games, man. Like, seriously, play them. They're cool as shit. If you just want to feel like a super powerful Jedi that's like a double agent, that's both good and bad, and the story is about him being conflicted about, am I a Sith, am I a Jedi? Fuck. So good.
Star Wars Force Unleashed has a... What is it?
Oh, yeah, Pod Racer was great. I loved
It's
Pod
4K
Racer on the
enhanced,
Dreamcast.
but that's it. There's nothing for 2.
Yeah. I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Yes, Pod Racer, I love that on 64 and Dreamcast. There's a lot of great... It's actually, to me, Star Wars actually has a better strike rate in games than it does in movies.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. The extended Star Wars stuff was always better than the mainline.
And someone else, Kal-El. Super Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, yeah, they were good. The Super Nintendo games were really good.
They were hard.
It's pretty much just nostalgia for me, but I remember having a ton of fun. No, those games were pretty cool.
They were very neat. They were insanely difficult.
Yeah, but all games were back then,
I
because developers back then still had the arcade game mentality. That was still a time. The 80s and 90s were still a time when developers couldn't separate themselves from the arcades. And we're like, this game's got to beat the shit out of you.
How do you make a small amount of content very repeatable? Was tough.
Yes.
It was just make it hard, and you replay the same shit, and you just keep pumping quarters versus what roguelikes essentially are, where it's not that much gameplay, but finding your way to get to the end takes a long time.
That's what it is. That's what roguelikes are, the evolution of the arcade game, effectively. Because you've got game over states, and you've got permadeath, and you've got... Because, again, back in the 80s and 90s, developers... The fact that we still had game over screens in video games back then is insane to me. It was a that was a product of the arcades. Like the arcade game had to end.
And when you port them now,
Console game doesn't.
when they port them now, they just essentially do the arcade port and give you infinite credits because, like, yeah, it's not fun when you have to completely restart over and over again.
Except for TMNT Wrath of the Mutants, which does not.
Oh, boy.
I was staggered when I saw only 2 continues in that game. I'm like, are you guys for real? What are you doing? Turn it off. Turn off the continue limit. What are you doing? Or just put 99 there and have it not count down. Like, I couldn't believe it. I actually had a game over screen. I had to start all over again. I'm like, oh my God, are you for real?
It was like the fighting games that wouldn't let you not have a timer, too. It's like, I get it why you have a timer in the arcade, but I don't want one in the home version.
Yes. Why is that? The first thing I do in my fighters is go into the options and set the timer to infinite. That's the first thing I do in all my fighting games. All of them. And when they only have a limit of 99, I'm like, man, fuck off. Seriously. Anyway. RuGrabu. Hello there. I have to chuckle every time when Nick starts to moan about the long flight to Germany and how he would die in economy class. Flew on Tuesday from Bangkok to Frankfurt, 11 hours at that point, in economy as a 194 centimeter 40-year-old. It was fine. I even forgot that my flight from Frankfurt to Perth in 2020 was a direct flight. I cannot even tell how it was. So Nick, you will be just fine with your 4'9". I'm 5'9". Thank you very much. Anyways, on a connecting flight, I played some rounds of Bubble Witch Saga and Candy Crush to pass some time. So did the older lady next to me. So I thought, wouldn't it be good for the Xbox brand to put an Xbox logo next to King? I think it would help the brand to expand the reception to the wider mobile gaming audience. Load up your Candy Crush Saga, Pop Saga 6, and the first thing you see is Xbox. But I guess the most we could get is a Microsoft logo. What do you think the chances are seeing the Xbox logo on the startup of every King game? Not great. You're right. They should do it, but not great.
I don't think people pay attention to logos at startup. I don't think they give a shit.
It's not about paying attention, mate. It's not about paying attention. No one does pay attention. It's about what's the word in advertising and marketing? It's about you're reinforcing something. It's almost subliminal. It's not subliminal, but it's almost like it's subliminal. You just keep throwing that logo in their face. You just keep throwing it in. That's what advertising is. That's all advertising is. They just keep... So that way, if you ever think of that product or thing, you think of that brand. You think of that logo. That's the whole point. Xbox clearly doesn't get that. Like, just... put that Xbox name and logo everywhere that is plausible. Everywhere. No one's got more money to do it with than them, outside of like Apple. But you're right, RuGrabu, but we're talking about Microsoft here. Subliminal, isn't that right? Why are you laughing?
Because
wasn't that the right word?
Subliminal, I think, is the way he wrote it. But I mean, Aaron did literally come out and say, "Hey, our whole big Hellblade II marketing push starts next week. We're very excited about it."
Yeah.
Like, people go on and on about marketing. They do market. They don't market in the classic ways as much as some of the others do. I don't know if that's better or worse. I just know they focus on Twitch and TikTok and YouTube. Those are the main places they advertise. If you've got YouTube Premium, you're not going to see it. If you're not on Twitch, you're not going to see it. If you're on Twitch, but you're subscribed to that channel, you're not going to see it. And most of us are too old for TikTok. So I get that it's not hitting the way we're used to. I am curious if they start doing more classic styles of advertising now that they are bigger budgeted because they are in charge of the friggin' budget for all of Microsoft marketing. It's all under the gaming division now. So it will be very interesting to see how things change. They were never, with Microsoft being an enormous company, full of red tape, they were never in charge of their own destiny there, essentially. They were beholden to the marketing department. And now they are the marketing department. So I'm very curious how it ends up going.
Yep. We'll see. LeeLayfield. Hey all. Busy week for gaming news. I wonder if any of the articles talking about Square's financial troubles brought up the idea of making games multi-platform, or did they forget? That would be my first change. Then I'd get the Final Fantasy VII remakes ported to Switch 2. Hopefully Square figures things out. They may not make games for me, but a rising tide lifts all Phil Spencers. Question. I've started playing games on PC. Why does nobody care for the Epic Game Store? What do you mean? I love the Epic Game Store. I've already got 20 free games, yet everyone is on Steam. It must be what Jesse talks about when he says people won't leave their gaming library. That said, Epic is giving me a free gaming library and fast. Steam is not. Yeah, man. You're talking to two of the biggest Epic Store fans out. I hate Steam.
400 Epic games now. Steam is not a good platform, but it is what people are used to. It's where all their friends are. It's where they already have stuff, and so that's just all they're going to use. We've seen it with Helldivers too. Like we didn't. There is still a bunch of new stuff we could do. But like the Helldivers 2
but with time limited.
Yeah, the Helldivers 2 thing was a mix. So it's some people just want to get angry, be part of the angry zeitgeist. Away they go, even if it's not affecting them directly. But other people are in a situation where it's like, okay, Steam sells to me in this country, but you don't. So I bought this game on Steam, and I cannot legally, for your toss, by your own rules, make an account, and you guys are famous for banning accounts. Then that would ban my Helldivers account, and I'm screwed because I've tied it now to PlayStation.
That's the thing. Like, before people explained it to me, I was like, why is everyone so upset about signing into a PlayStation account for Helldivers? I like signing into all of the accounts for everything, because sometimes you get perks, sometimes you get all sorts of... I never had an issue. Like, when I signed up to my 2K account to play Topspin, I created a 2K account, linked my Xbox One, linked my Twitch, linked my PlayStation, Nintendo, all of them. I've got no issue with it. Big deal. But then people started to explain on Twitter that, no, this game is sold on Steam in countries that aren't supported by PlayStation Network. So if they've bought the game and don't sign into a PlayStation account, they lose the game effectively that they've paid for. Now that fucking sucks. That Sony needs to get their shit together on that, because if someone does a dodgy using a VPN or whatever to create a PlayStation account, Sony will fucking ban them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Microsoft doesn't, because Microsoft does have either mandatory or optional logins for crossplay, or you just have to do it sometimes. But they don't ban you for changing. We changed to New Zealand to play games early all the time. They don't care.
Yes.
And I do see Assassin's Entertainment. Yeah, people get annoyed at Epic's exclusive deals when it's not a game they paid for Alan Wake 2. Like, Alan Wake 2 was funded by them.
They funded
it. Makes sense. But, like, they also had other things that they didn't fund, but then they give a really good, like, oh, we won't take any profit from this. You just get every sale type deals with other games that then don't go to Steam for a while, like Dead Island 2. Like, they didn't fund Dead Island 2. They just gave it a sweetheart deal to keep it off of Steam to try and get people to buy it. And I think they've realized more and more that doesn't work. It kind of goes back to the Final Fantasy thing in Square Enix, where they have fired their CEO and completely changed course, because they have realized pretty much every exclusivity deal we've done with PlayStation has not worked. Like, Final Fantasy VII Remake did way less than Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 16 did way less than Final Fantasy 15.
Didn't Final Fantasy 15 make the most money of any Final Fantasy game?
It sold 15 million copies and is like the most revenue. And then the other ones, the newer ones, are below it and above some of the other stuff, but like they haven't gone above 15 because they haven't been everywhere. They weren't on PC at the start. Remake's PC port is awful. Rebirth isn't there. 16 still not on PC, and when it's not day and date, as PlayStation has seen, wow, Helldivers 2, really good game, day and date on PC. We've made more money on PC than we did on PlayStation. Like, there's no. It's very different. The PlayStation and the console and PC markets are very different people in general. So I don't think it ever hurts nearly as much as people think when you're on PC day and date. And Square Enix has realized they need to do what Capcom and Atlas and Sega and everyone has done, and be everywhere and go, holy shit, Persona was this beloved franchise for 3 decades, and it sold like 10 million copies as a franchise, and then we put it everywhere, and it's like doubled. And it's like, when you're more places, you make more money. More money, more good.
Square, I think this new Square CEO has realized that shit.
He brought Phil out immediately on stage for Final Fantasy 14 and put the game out.
Yeah, I think we need to stop taking these money hats from Sony.
And they're
Because
tied into remake and rebirth.
And you have to understand. You have to understand. Odds are we don't know. We obviously no one knows the figures. I don't think they leaked. But odds are Sony probably wasn't even giving them much money for these
10 years ago
deals
for the contract.
Yeah, when Sony would have, like, knowing Sony and how they operate, they would have been convincing Square, like, no one buys an Xbox anyway. You're not losing many copies. Just take our deal. That deal. Don't you remember the leaked Resident Evil contract? It was only like $5 million.
Yeah, it is nothing.
It was like $5 million or some shit. So here's Square seeing probably like $10 million up front, thinking, oh man, $10 million. And Sony's like laughing all the way to the bank because that's all it's cost them to lock down Final Fantasy. And
I guess. Don't slough us. That was a guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said no one knows the numbers. They haven't leaked.
Yeah,
all we saw was the Capcom numbers. So if Capcom's number was only like 5 million and Final Fantasy's deal was probably done forever ago, I'm willing to bet the money amount wasn't huge.
Probably not.
And Square's like, we've got to fucking stop doing this. Like, it's helping Sony, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But how is it helping us? Like, anyway, Epic is giving me a shit ton of free good games, man. Like, I'm not, like, and I hate Steam's UI. I just fucking hate Steam.
It got bad.
It's just,
it was okay, and then they changed it, and I really don't like what they changed.
I just hate it. And every time I start it, it's like, oh, I'm resetting now because I need to update and I need to do. It's like, man, just piss off. And it was so hard for me to even just. It took me ages to figure out how to toggle to show me just what the Mac supports. What's like the Mac supported games.
Mm-hmm.
It took me ages just to figure out that toggle. And like things that should be simple on Steam are like super not simple. It's just like, why is this such a it should be a trivial thing, and yet you make it so difficult for me. I fucking hate Steam. I hate it. Absolutely fucking hate it.
Got a super chat?
We might even have a couple. No, we don't. As4ssin Entertainment with another one. Is it any way possible that Xbox could help Square buy themselves out of the exclusivity contracts with Sony to get Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16 to Xbox? Well, from what I've heard, Final Fantasy 16 is coming to Xbox. You know, and despite psychotic PlayStation fanboys on Twitter editing my tweets to make it look like I said Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to Xbox, I never said that. If anything, I'm the person, like, guys like Jez have been like, maybe, possibly, maybe. I am the one that has always consistently said, do not hold your breath on Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Xbox. I personally don't think it's ever going to happen. A source of mine told me years ago, don't think it's happening, like, ever. What they've done is they took a tweet of mine where I said Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to PlayStation Plus, which was correct, and made it look like I was saying it was coming to Xbox. I guess I should take that as a compliment. My record's become that good now that they have to dig back years to look for something I was wrong about in the early days to make it look like I'm wrong all the time. There's also a decent chance that we're about to have a very good month or so on that front. But that's all I'll say. 99 Rukin. Yeah, so actually, did we? We didn't really answer that question, did we? If the contracts are old enough, maybe there might be something like maybe breaking them wouldn't cost much. Because maybe back then Sony didn't think it would ever happen. So maybe, again, we don't know how those contracts are written up. So if there's nothing in there,
knowing Sony, they're probably the only ones that can break them.
Maybe
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a very heavily weighted in their favor deal, and I wouldn't expect it.
Sony
would be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it money wise, but it could be worth it PR wise. That would be the only way I could see them forking out the cash. If it was even possible.
Sony like to strong-arm Japanese developers. Sony likes to really lean on them and borderline bully them.
Yeah, like, and rumors are in general, this may or may not happen because things just aren't decided yet. Like when people are, I know there's people on the forum saying, I just expect Xbox is going to be fully platformed by the show and just start saying everything's on PlayStation. I'm like, you don't know as much as the executives, and even they wouldn't say, I'm very confident XYZ will happen over the next few years. Like, everything just constantly is in flux and changing, and decisions get made all the time, and you've got a strategy one year that changes the next year because the market changes. Like, yeah, most rumors are this might happen because there's 9 million ways in which it couldn't. And there's a few ways it could.
Magnum, my friend, I'm opening up my OneNote as we speak.
Oh,
Magnum, my friend. Because Magnum said, I love how all gaming rumors are maybe this or that could happen. Because that's how they are, mate.
Yeah.
I know you don't like it. Like, the reason I'm opening up my OneNote is because I am going to look at...
It was funny when they used to break your computer.
Yeah, it used to break
OneNote,
my computer every time I opened it, but it doesn't anymore.
It was trying to be your
I'm
mic.
trying to find it. My OneNote is... where is it? Where did I put it? The reason everything with rumors is maybes is because they are. Like, I'm trying to find it now. I got sent screenshots of a game that I'll probably never be able to mention it. But I got screenshots of a game from a known developer. Oh, there it is. Found it. Just found it. You would have seen the light change on my face when I found it. I'm looking at screenshots right now. I have 3 screenshots of a game from a known developer, just a smaller indie developer. And this is a game. This is a full game. And it's a maybe, because this game is probably never going to see the light of day. And I've asked numerous times, can I ever reveal this game? And the answer was no. And I'm looking at this. Okay, I shouldn't even give a clue.
Nope.
Because if my source sees, they'll probably tell me off for saying it. But like, I get stuff like, I got these screenshots a year ago. Wow. They've just been sitting in my fucking OneNote for a year. Like, everything is a maybe. Like, again, as I said earlier, surely the Insomniac and FTC leaks taught you that. How many times do I have to remind you all of the example of the exclusive PS5 Marvel multiplayer game, possibly by Insomniac, which we then discovered was a cancelled Spider-Man game? Now, if that Insomniac leak never happened, you all would have told me I made that up and had that same attitude. Oh, maybe, sure. Like, come on, man. There's a point where guys like Jez and Grub and all that, we've all been around long enough for you to know that we don't just talk shit for the sake of talking shit. There has to be a point where you understand that. But anyway. Next. Sorry. Back to 99 Rukin. Yeah, so Sony buying Paramount. I guess I was wrong. Next week, Microsoft comes out and says we are acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. I kid, but my question does involve them and Meta Xbox VR deal. Oh, wait, did we talk about that? Do you think we will see that new Batman VR game at the showcase? Hopefully Half-Life Alyx runs on it too. Nick, do you reckon Nintendo is waiting for Xbox to reveal the next COD before they reveal the Switch 2? Maybe at the Xbox showcase?
The Meta Xbox VR deal is literally they're making another Meta Quest 3
branded
that looks that is inspired by Xbox's branding. It is not an Xbox VR headset.
Yeah, it's Xbox branded. It's just
people
Xbox branded.
started putting Xbox is making a Meta Quest headset, and it's like, no, Meta is making an Xbox themed headset, which I've already asked for one if they ever want to send it to me. And I'm already on the list for that Batman game. No, it will not be at the showcase because they will never have anything to do with VR. Ever.
No. I don't think Nintendo is waiting for anything.
No, Nintendo...
I don't think Nintendo's...
The common sense seems to be Nintendo is waiting on just having their enough games for launch. That's why it's not until next year. They want to have everything ready. They've got the hardware out. It's probably going to be shitty hardware again because it's already done. It's not going to be anything super fancy or crazy. They're just making sure they've got a really good launch lineup because we're in a very strong position. People are still buying their old shitty console nonstop to play a bunch of good games on it. So they're just happy to wait.
I suspect they'll just follow the pattern of the original Switch. Reveal in October, sell in March. That's my assumption at this point, that they'll just do the same thing. I don't know. But I doubt they're waiting on anything because it's the Switch 2. It doesn't need to wait for anything.
Nope.
Last question, and couldn't come at a better time because I need to go. Greek Easter, remember? Hugh. Hey, with the current multi-platform concerns around Xbox, do you think Xbox might go heavy on the exclusive voiceover at the showcase, like they've done previously, to calm the community? Or do you think they will keep it ambiguous with most of the titles shown?
I don't remember what they did last year. I honestly
Yeah,
don't.
neither do I. I don't think they'll go with exclusive. I don't personally, because they probably will just think it's an Xbox show, so it's our stuff.
Yeah,
I guess
they did the world. I think they had like it would say world premiere.
World premiere.
Yeah, when it's something
I
new
reckon
to
they'll
let you
probably
know
have.
it's new. That's about it.
Yeah. I reckon they'll probably have world premiere, but I don't know if they'll have exclusive. I don't think so.
Probably not. It'd be funny, and people will panic, lose their shit.
And I guess it might depend on how much third party is there. Maybe if there's third party, they will. Now that I think about it, to create that differentiation. But I haven't received the list yet. But I don't know how much. I can do my predictions.
You cannot.
We won't know the timing of my predictions versus
you
the
and
list.
John from predictions, because we're doing a prediction article. You guys are banned. The show before the showcase. I'll be heavy on the mute button. Also, I do see Heb
How
saying...
How about this?
No, good.
I'll let you know when I get the list. If that list comes post prediction show, then it should be fine. But if the list comes before the prediction show, then okay. Right now, I only know of 3 games.
That might possibly... But things you've been told might be there. Because I know other people, like Tom Warren has already heard about Gears a bunch, so... But yeah, but I do see Heb saying, this showcase will be a defining moment for the future. It's like, when aren't they?
We say that every year,
It is.
I feel like
to a very
every
small
year that
amount.
gets said.
To a very small amount, it sets you up for for discourse for like a few months. Pretty heavily. For a couple months, and then it dies off. And then people are playing shit's coming out. They're not talking about showcases, because if they were, they would stop saying that this is the most important showcase or this is the most important release ever, because everyone just forgets everything. Like every Xbox release is always the most important because people forget about all the other good ones they just had. They're so used to saying that phrase, they just keep saying it.
Yeah. Right now, I know of 4 games. And obviously, there's going to be way more than that. It's just that stuff. And I also know a couple for the PlayStation show.
Now, correct. People are going to be pedantic. You have been told of 4 things that might be there. That might be a part of it.
Yes, I have been. Yes, correct.
People are always pedantic
told
about wording. Yeah.
Yeah. I have received info of like 4 games that should be there. One of them better fucking be there. But yeah, I think that's it. We talked about the exclusive stuff.
Yeah, that was good. And a little under 3 hours, as it is a holiday for you, and we're trying to be more conscious. You will be off next week.
Yes, I'm not on next week. It's Mother's Day, and I need to stop doing this show on things like Mother's Day and Father's Day and all that sort of stuff. So you won't get to see this pretty face next week.
We will have John next week. We'll look into getting a third person, because it's always nice having 3, because I'm focused a lot on production, so I don't talk too much. But yeah, and then you're back the week after, and John's gone again for his.
And John's not on.
Yeah, not by his choice. It was his partner messaged both of us. Actually, I guess you might not. It might be in your requests on Twitter, but she messaged us a month ago saying, "Hey, by the way, is it okay if I steal John for his birthday weekend? Just don't let him know. I want to make it a surprise." And then John's like, "No, I'm going to be on the show," to her over and over again. And she eventually was like, I got a surprise for you. He's like, "Oh, okay." So yeah. And then after that, John will be out a lot because he's flying all over the place in June. But he'll be on the show. He just won't be at his house.
That was something I didn't talk about. Some more rumored Fortnite leaks that I saw on Twitter. And I was like, oh, really? X-Men 97. Oh, I think I mentioned Cyclops also, and a bunch of other X-Men.
Loki and Sylvie.
Really? Yeah, saw Loki. Got tagged about Loki. I'm not really interested in buying Loki. I tagged you. Did you? Was it you?
That was me on the Discord, yeah. Discord.gg/XboxEra.
Yeah, Loki, whatever.
Sylvie doesn't have Chun-Li's thighs, so...
I'm using Zeus at the moment, and there's this incredible emote that you unlock in the Battle Pass. That's a Greek song. Like, it's an actual song that was made for Fortnite that is half Greek, half English. I've got it on my phone. It's on Apple Music. And I was like, this song is fucking cool, man. Like, it was actually a really good song. It's like my favorite emote at the moment. It's
They're
so
doing a lot
good.
of music with the Fortnite festival. But yeah.
Oh, it's so good, this song. It's in the Battle Pass. You get it when you get Zeus. He shoots like this spirit arrow into the air.
How many
fireworks
women
come
does he
down,
impregnate against their will?
and he just starts doing this cool dance, and the song is great. Oh, I love it. I love it. Will you be able to tell us if Gears Collection will be there before the showcase? I don't know what I'll be allowed or not allowed to say or tease or whatever. I
Every
don't
time
know.
you try
I
and do
don't
it,
know.
I mute you. But yeah. Thank you, Nick.
On Twitter, like with the PlayStation show now, because a lot of people get upset at me and say, oh, you spoiled it. So if the majority don't want me to spoil the PlayStation showcase, then I can leave it at what I've said, which is that I am going to like this PlayStation show. And again, I don't know if it's a case or a state of play. I think state of play. But I am going to like it. Me specifically,
If
Nick.
what you think is going to happen happens, or what you've been told is going
Yes.
to happen happens, yeah.
If the stuff I've been told should be there will be there, I'm going to love this PlayStation show. I don't know about the rest of you. Me, Nick. It's going to be a great
You're
one
like
for me.
Al Pacino in that old movie. I'm gonna get him. My client is fucking guilty. That's a good movie.
What movie is that?
Oh, Christ. I forget. Travis is in the chat. He will remember. It's young Al Pacino, and he's representing a guy that he knows is guilty of a crime. And at the end, the apex, he pretty much throws his career away saying, my client fucking sucks, and he's guilty. The honorable judge. Yeah. I forget the name of it, though.
Okay.
Hold on. Al Pacino, and Justice for All. There it is. He knew it immediately.
Okay. I have not seen that.
It's very old.
So that's the end of the show. In there.
It is what it is, bro.
What a bottle. Now, so thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks very much to Gene.
Yeah, he was great.
For making the time for us. Gene was great. We'll try and get him on again, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to all our patrons. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for everyone who just popped by and didn't say a thing in chat but watched anyway.
Mm-hmm.
One of the we got close to 250. I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't be here next week. Happy Easter for those who celebrate Orthodox Easter. I won't just say Greek Easter because it's Orthodox Easter. So Gistro and Nesti to the Greek people who celebrate. That's a bit of my big fat Greek wedding reference.
Butt sex joke or unibrow?
No, he says because he's an American trying to say Christos Anesti, and he goes Gistro Nesti. So yes, happy Easter to those who celebrate. And I'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Jesse, we'll see you next week. But anyway, we love you all very much. Ciao for now. Bye.
Bye-bye.